describes acts of extreme violence in graphic detail and may include discussions about demonology and the occult, topics that caused widespread panic during the 1980s. This content may not be suitable for children under the age of 50. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the GROGTALK with your hosts, Dan and James.
All right. Hello, everyone. That's sound check. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to GROGTALK. I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
Where are we from today, Dan?
We are from the University of Wisconsin Parkside campus. It is located between Racine and Kenosha, but everyone knows that. We are at Gen Con, live from Gen Con.
That's right. Congratulations to us. We made it. Gen Con. Which Gen Con is this?
Gen Con 15.
15.
Should I look up on Wikipedia and ask you trivia questions about Gen Con 15?
Sure, of course.
All right, which means that you're going to have to look at no data connection. What's wrong with you?
You have a crappy phone.
This is your house. I'll do it one more time, and then we're moving on.
Did I show my, well, while you do that, I'm going to show my official swag cup now. I've changed. Starbucks, you're not getting free advertising anymore because I have a GROGTALK official cup now.
Who needs you guys? We're out on our own. We're breaking out.
Right. No more Ralph Lauren, nothing else. So, I mean, I could look it up and see what the stats are, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of it.
You ask me the questions.
Okay. I could. Okay. If you want to do that.
See how quickly it's called adjusting.
Yeah. This is how DM, same thing you would do in a DM thing. You have your plans and.
So this is Gen Con trivia. So people on the chat can play.
All right.
So we already know where it's at. I think you basically exhausted the questions. You could do special guests. I believe they sometimes have.
Gen Con 15.
I'm ready.
It's August 19th through the 22nd in 1982. How many people were approximately in attendance?
I'm gonna say. We're clearing the thousands by this point. I'm gonna say 2,700.
That's a very specific number. 27. Does anyone else have
That's the over-under.
A better guess than 2,700? Going once. Jack, do you have a guess? By the way, if you hear random squeaking, this is why you hear random squeaking.
James decided the show needed something extra.
That's right. Small pets.
My future replacement.
Well, that's right. He almost pays more attention than Dan. This is Jack. How are you, Jack? So if you hear barking and whispering, that's him. So here you go.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. That's right. It could be Dan as well.
Okay.
Right. So we got a 4K easy. Easy on the 4K.
Oh, they may be right. Easy like 4K.
Easy like 4K.
They may be right. It's getting big because in 1982, Gen Cons. So we're getting to the point now where we're seeing it in Dragon Magazine. We're sad we can't go because we're not old enough.
Right. And our parents is not going to go to Wisconsin for it.
Or what? Yeah, they're pissed off to drive to the library for the game.
Right.
Okay, how many?
Over 3,000. So
that's all it said.
That's all it says. Over 3,000. Those 2 years, they did not have exact numbers for whatever reason because it was sourced by item 66.
What's happening to my leg here, James? What is this?
Oh, hasn't done that in a long time. That's he's being friendly to you. That's him saying, "I want to play, and if you don't play, I'm gonna hump you."
Well, that's okay. I like to feel attractive.
See, small pet. He's a burrowing mammal. He's figured that out.
Burrowing.
Was...
Okay, What's
Yes.
next? Special guests? Oh, sorry. Never mind.
That's right. Power 2. They had 2. Okay. So, unfortunately, that's all they have here,
Okay. All right.
except where it was. And I'm
James.
yeah. We're so distracted. Hey, stop humping my co-host.
What the house is this?
It's House of Love, baby.
Wow.
No more humping him.
I feel like I'm about to
Go to
leave
your bed. Go to your bed. Come on, you're distracting everyone. All right.
On that note.
27. You all forgot the Price is Right. It's if without going over 3,500. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Did I win?
No, you had 2,700.
What did it say?
So you won. Yeah, you did.
I get to come. Yeah.
You won.
I'm coming up. Yeah.
Congratulations. Excellent. All right, moving on from this shenanigans. So we have our own show coming up soon, right?
We do.
Con
We do.
is
We'll have over. So how many zeros? So they had over 3,000. So
We'll
how
have
many-
over 3.
Right. Strike 3 zeros. No, we'll have over 30. So yeah. So
That's right.
GROGTALK
22.
coming to you. No, not you. Come to GROGTALK.
You come to GrogCon. Exactly.
Yep, in Orlando, September 30th through October 2nd.
Right. Here at the off the International Drive of Fun, and if you see behind us, there are the 8 groggies that you could win if you win the tournament.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Who's gonna win? Well, I think Dick thinks he's gonna win because he's bragging on Discord that he's won twice already. So he's basically printing for himself and,
Right.
and Genie. That's what he's doing. So they are ready. They've been quality tested, ready to be given out. We have over 32 people signed up for the tournament. Isn't that amazing?
We have over 32. Would that be 33?
Well, it was 32, but I think I wasn't sure if it went up or down.
I know. Yes, no. So I'm very pleased with the amount of people that have signed up for games. We're pretty much all filled up with games.
Yeah. So, but we have 5 DMs lined up: Lloyd, Ed, myself, Rob, and Tom.
That's fantastic.
Well, I think Tom's in, but the rest of them have committed.
Listen to Tom. Tom's listening.
Yes,
What?
Tom's listening. What? So so we're looking forward to that. So if you want, sign up grogcon.com. The whole day is $50. The whole weekend is $50. One day is $30 for the event, for the tournament. Running a Dwarven Forge game, running this game. So you want to be a rock and roll star? We played this at the Haven Game Store, located at 3385 South US Highway 1792 in Castleberry. Talked to Matt. They were very gracious there. Had a good time.
It was a real fun game. So people who have signed up for it, you're in for a real treat. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was. I appreciate Rob and Donna and Dan coming out, and Michael coming out to play. So that was a lot of fun. And in fact, this will be in issue 9 of Flipping and Turning, the Bard issue.
Perfect.
Where you can craft the lore of the pseudo-undead. What happens to the pseudo-undead?
So whatever happens, are you telling me that that's going to become part of canon?
Yeah, of course.
Well, now the stakes have really risen in this game.
That's right.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be the campaign of the pseudo-undead.
Because what you're saying is you ran the play test with us, and you're like, well, that clearly can't be the canon.
No, it can't be. Can't be that.
That's not going to work.
Yes, but yeah. So we've made some adjustments thanks to that. So again, flipping and turning. So you can get 7 right now. Oh, 8 illusionists out. We use 7 for the assassin thing, which we're working on. So a lot of good stuff. Please go out to SmolderingDunGames.com. It's an online store. Rob, our Tim Kask, is out there. Support them by either downloading the free version. Obviously patrons get it ahead of time. But you can download them or get hard copies. What other exciting things have coming up from the world of Smoldering Dung Games? You want to announce this? Since this is your love child, basically.
Well, and Rob has done a tremendous amount of work on this.
Unbelievable.
So this is the Grog Empire Almanac, 2022 Almanac, and we've got a map, the Grog Empire map. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, patrons were invited to select a region on a map drawn by Henry, if I recall correctly, right? One of our, right?
Henry Hubbard.
Son of John. Henry, son of John.
Henry, son of John.
Those are very middle-aged names, aren't they? Those are good.
Yeah.
Henry, son of John, drew the sketch of the map, and we hired an artist to put it together. And as you see on the cover, in the center is the original sketch,
right.
it's a portion of the original sketch by Henry. And on the back, you'll see a little glimpse, a little peeksy of what the map looks like done by our artist, Yuri, from Brazil. Are we going to show this?
I think we have to reveal it.
The unveiling.
Right, the unveiling of it.
So this is the final map. And just to let you know, if you purchase this, you're getting... James, feel this.
Feel this?
Don't you hate... Oh, that's right. I should explain what's going on for people. It's not
on the podcast.
On the podcast.
Right.
He's feeling this map here.
I'm molesting the map.
James, you remember those times when you have a Greyhawk map, you'd spill your Dr. Pepper on
Right.
it, and it
Or
ruined.
Ruined, yeah, because it was paper.
And like you of course would have to go steal another one.
Right.
From the Walden Books in Brooklyn.
B. Dalton's, yeah.
B. Dalton, from, or it doesn't matter. Or you tear it. Do you remember that? You know.
Well, what would happen was I would put tape, and you tape them on the walls, and when you take them off, they would rip.
Right. You didn't care that you took the paint off. That was your parents' problem.
Yeah, I don't care
But
about
the map would rip.
Right.
Well, that's not what happens. This material is, you can spill stuff on it.
Right.
I think.
Probably.
Probably.
Wipe it up quickly.
Real
if it's
fast.
coffee.
Yeah. It's not going to be torn, and you can roll it up and it'll lay flat. And here it is. Here's the unveiling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World of GROGTALK map.
World of GROGTALK Empire.
Empire map. Almanac map.
There it is.
There it is.
Look how awesome this is. And so we invited patrons, is really the way we should do the show.
Yeah.
We invited patrons to select a territory, and they could name it, and they did. And they're on the map now, and the almanac is like the Greyhawk almanac, which has a description of your region. You have to write it up.
Exactly.
Now, that's the good news. Here's the maybe bad news.
What is the bad news?
Any member of the Grog Empire who ever runs a D&D game or publishes a module.
Yeah, must be in the World of GROGTALK.
Correct.
That's right.
Read the fine print, folks.
That's right.
Should have read the fine print.
Yeah, if you're creating a module, particularly if it's going to flipping and turning, it now must be in the world of GROGTALK. So what we're doing is this will be available at GrogCon. It's being officially released at GrogCon.
When you say available, you mean for sale.
Right, for sale. Yes, this is not free. What is free for patrons is you will get a digital version of the map.
Excellent.
So every patron gets a digital version of the map, and then if you want to buy the complete folio and map, which is a superior map to that other inferior product from the 80s, which we did not copy at all. No, we barely were inspired by it. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, clearly.
Right. There's nothing like it.
Right. There's no imitation going here at all.
So that will be for purchase, and then of course it'll be available on Smoldering Dun Games. So well done, Dan. Your vision came to pass, which is awesome.
And of course,
Rob did all the work.
Well done, Rob. As usual, yes. Rob did all the work. So
Well, you colored the map.
the original map.
Right.
Henry's map.
Right.
Right. And so as you can see,
Here's Henry's map inside.
not at all like the Greyhawk
No,
folio or whatever.
nothing completely different.
Right, so you get that, and here is your almanac, which has the information you need to run adventures in the world of Greyhawk.
People are taking screenshots and going to write this down separately because they don't want to pay for it, but that's okay.
Correct. Yeah, they're just going to pull up the YouTube. That's right. They're just going to pull up the YouTube video.
They're going to pull up the YouTube so they don't have to pay for it. Anyway, all that's good stuff. So again, if you are someone who's new to the show, we do this so that people can play old school games. You want to play old school games? Go out to Grognard's Guild Online, which is on our Discord, and you can also go to our meetup. I use that to set up my So You Want to Be a Rock Star game. We're also doing a playtest for the tournament coming up, right?
We are indeed this Saturday.
Not yeah, a week from today. Yeah, that's right. This Saturday. You were correct. So
After the show.
not
Today.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Then I better tell the wife I've got something to do.
No.
So we actually take this somewhat seriously. So we are looking forward to seeing you all then. Speaking of seriously, we need to check on GoDelicious.
We do. Where is it? Last I heard, GoDelicious was in Japan.
He's in Japan. He's with Kenyon, who was on here.
But was he taking a shower?
He may be taking a shower now, so I don't know if he's come back already. But if he hasn't, I'm concerned about his visa. Will he be able to get back to GROGTALK in time?
Well, that's a good point. And has he overextended his stay? Because I think if you stay too long, aren't you supposed to apply for a different type of visa?
Right. Yeah, we're gonna have to find that out. So we're gonna have to call the Queller and Menyon to find out if this is some kind of, is he gonna be able to come back?
Do you think he's like? You think he's in the bathroom? Like, so when he takes a shower, do you think GoDelicious comes along?
Ooh, I don't know. That would be nice. We should ask him if he bathes with him. You know those traditional Japanese baths. You know they have that. Does he have a kimono for GoDelicious? I think we should. If he finds a kimono the size for GoDelicious, I think we should pay for it.
Without question. And GoDelicious is, of course, our sort of a mascot. There's a goat. He was one of our early champs. GoDelicious, I think he ultimately lost on the air at GrogCon 20.
Something like that.
Something like that.
That's why we have a space for him.
And he's been traveling the world, going to our patrons. He's been all around. He's been to New York. He's been to Minnesota. He's now in Japan. Do we know where he's going to? He's been to Tampa.
Right.
Do we know where he's going to go next?
Well, that's the question, because I think Menyon was talking about sending him to the Chamberlain, who's in Australia, but I'm afraid of him. If he takes to Australia, he may not make it back in time.
I understand. Oh, that's true. Probably that'd be close.
Yeah, and I don't think we should send him to Russia at this point. He may get it may be an international. I wonder if they'll do a prisoner exchange if he got some bogus charges there.
Oh, you think maybe? Oh, I see. Yeah.
He's an international celebrity. They may use him as a political pawn, so he needs to avoid.
The WNBA star, GoDelicious. Who would come back first?
You know, I think the Queller would be okay if we exchange GoDelicious for Grind.
We should offer. Oh, okay. Why don't you send an email to the president?
To the president of the Russian consulate.
Yes. Yeah. Show up. Yes. That's what Menyon should go to the Russian consulate.
I assume
in
there's
Japan.
a Russian consulate in Japan. They've had such great relationships over the years.
I offer you this. Yes. Was it Russo? Sino?
There was something like that back in the day.
I offer you this goat.
Please send the Americans home.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, Japan coming in as a neutral third party, excellent. I think we are solving all the world's problems here.
Menyon's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Right.
Or GoDelicious.
Or GoDelicious.
They'll share it. I love it. Okay.
Oh, they're saying it's occasionally cutting out. Oh, well, if it's cutting out, okay, let me know. I think the if it's our audio, let us know. If it's the sound thing, I think I'm having a sound problem, so I'll have to check that out. Thank you, sir. But if the audio is cutting out, please let me know. Okay, moving on. I did notice that, Retro Ray. So we talked about the zine, a couple other quick things. DaveCon is way down the list, but it's coming in April, right? March, April. That's our dear friend Vic Dorso's thing. And he gave us, for patrons, a discount code, which is still available. So go out to Patreon and look at that and sign up. We are looking forward for that. We missed it last year because of various nonsense that we're... Yes, that is weird. Lighting is weird, though. Yes, it is new, sort of. I was working on it last night. It's all the podcasters must have random random lights. So we can't be a YouTuber. All the ones who have millions of people, they have these lights that do this. So you can change colors. No, you can't. There you go. See, now it's red. Look at that. That's why we have this. We're so fancy. I know you're really impressed. Okay. So I'm glad people are letting me know about that. I'll have to check it out. If it keeps getting worse, please let me know because I can figure something out. All right. And also, Tampa NerdCon, November 11th through the 13th. a few weeks after GROGTALK, we'll be at Tampa NerdCon.
Right.
All right. So if you can help us, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Do an iTunes review where we'll read it verbatim, good, bad, or indifferent, and become a patron. I also wanted to give a shout out to the silencer of the Alamo who sent us stuff to give away to our people at GROGTALK.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that awesome?
Very
so,
nice.
as far as I know, there's nothing profane in here, or
You have not opened this before.
I have not opened this. I'm open. It's a reveal as we open it.
It's an
Here.
enveloping.
Here, you can read that.
Oh. Greetings to the General, His Eminent Honor, Sir Terrible Sword of Longwood, and the Governor, His Brilliant Omnipotence, King, Stupendous Slaughterer of Winter Park. I leave these two historical items in your care, to be granted to a member of the Empire as your beneficence deems fit.
Ooh, beneficence.
Both are from the same collection, purchased from a merchant after many hours of dignified haggling about the price. You will find enclosed the Rogues Gallery
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
and a catalog from the Dungeon Hobby Shop with royal seal of the House of Gygax still intact. No, this is getting tough on me. Demesne, D-E-M-E-S-N-E.
Okay.
Oh, you're not helping me with that?
No,
Okay.
I have no idea what that is. Here, you get crickets. I don't know what that is.
The Demesne of the previous owner is inscribed on the back.
Oh, like the signature. Then.
I have its twin still in my possession.
Ah.
And I like to think of this as a link between myself and whatever distant member of the Empire receives it into his or her possession. I wonder, will the temptation to penetrate the mysteries within overcome the desire to leave the virtue of the document intact? I am grateful for all the Empire has done for me. Oh, this is ending correctly. This was used as a model for people.
I'm going to put this on the website. When you send correspondence to us, this is how it should be.
The appropriate way. I am grateful for all the Empire has done for me. I am grateful to repay it in part in even this humble manner. Until the seas boil and the dice lie, the Admiral, His Magnificent Majesty Archduke, the powerful silencer of the Alamo. Dictated, but not read.
Excellent. Well done, sir. Gets golf claps for all around. So here it is, Rogues Gallery. This will be given away, rolled off. It's pronounced D-mine. D-I-mine with the emphasis on the second one.
Demine. Oh, Demine.
Yeah.
Demine.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful copy of this. I'm
And
going
the
to put
Rogues Gallery, of course.
Rogues Gallery Classic, which we used last time. So it is a plethora of useful information. We have a Dungeon Hobby Shop catalog, which will be rolled off.
And he says that there is the this royal seal of the House of Gygax still intact.
Well, I don't know where it is, but I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. There it is.
Oh. So it has not been opened.
It has not been opened.
So that's going to be tempting,
That's
right? If you were to open it. And the Dungeon Hobby Shop. Oh, so this is this the new one or is this an original one from way back in the day? A catalog
Well,
from
it
the
says TSR Hobby, I think. So P.O. Box.
Oh, can I see that? So this is the original.
I believe so.
Or
Yes.
oh, look at this. Runette. Wait, we have a name.
That's what he said.
Yeah, Tim Runette.
Did you read what he said?
Well, it's hard to pay attention when you're reading it, because especially when you words like what was that?
It's demane.
When you have words like demane that I have to, come on.
Utter.
So
Enunciate.
yes, the royal seal. The demands of the previous owners described in the back. Tim Runette. We have to look for Tim Runette.
Right.
In Deerfield, Ohio. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it has not been opened.
So
Don't open it.
So the question is, why did you not open this?
Maybe because it came with a bunch of other crap. Maybe, who knows?
Oh yeah, this is just like the catalog. He's like, he bought something.
Right. He just threw it in
He's
there.
like, really? What do I care?
Yeah. I mean, I got Gamma World. I don't need anything else.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to have to look up Tim Runette, Deerfield, Illinois,
Uh-huh.
to try to get him on the show.
Excellent. That is beautiful.
And ask him and berate him. Why did you not? But wait, James.
Yes.
There's more.
Uh-huh.
P.S. I have also included 2 permanent character record sheets on the original blue paper
Beautiful. Look at them. Pristine.
and 1 photocopy as a sort of homage to the previous owner. There were numerous photocopies of forms and images in the collection, so I can guess the previous owner was in a household of some renown.
Right.
With free access to a photocopier of what would have been respectable quality. Well, he's going to get hired this guy as a writer for our show.
He's wonderful.
He's better than us. Well, I'll speak for myself. There are also 2 player character sheets.
Goldenrod.
Cleric / druid and magic user / illusionist.
Well, I didn't look at the. I just assumed they were the same. They are. His inventory is. He's very descriptive.
Oh, look, and they haven't been. They're attached.
They're still attached. That's right. That's why I really. Do we have any gloves?
We don't know.
We should have those caretaker gloves.
You're
the ones the historians have. The people at the museums. The caretakers.
Your dog is probably going to like eat that.
Oh, that's a good point. I should probably move this out of the way.
And they were on the original goldenrod, as you saw. Alas, there were no photocopies of these sheets. The magics of the goldenrod being too much for the device the young lord had at hand. I hope these will either prove practically useful or sufficiently ornamental. I apologize for the length of this entry.
Oh, never. Well done, sir.
Excellent.
I like that it was dictated but not read. Right. That's awesome. Well done, sir. The Silencer of Alamo. Thank you for these gifts. They will be at the GrogCon table. And I think we're just going to do a roll-off where people come by, they roll the dice, highest dice wins, and if there's a tie, they roll off at the end.
No. They have to pronounce that word correctly. Whoever is the closest, you have to pronounce it.
Demane?
You have to read
Demane.
You have to read that letter and get all pronunciations correct.
Who can read the fastest with the least errors?
Yeah, correct.
Like a typing test.
Correct.
Excellent. Well, that's what you have to look forward to. You get to see this. You get to see stuff to give away. We're going to give away stuff is not as cool as that. We're all very excited. And again, thank you, sir. Well done. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the time to send it as well. I don't know if are you planning to come? If not, we'd love to see you. Please stop by.
Indeed.
All right. Excellent. Well, with that, I think we're ready for the best of 1982.
40 years ago, today,
Yes.
you turn on the radio. What was your radio like back then in 82? What would it look
A
like?
Walkman.
Oh, you had a Walkman. Did it have a tape deck cassette?
Yes. It was a fake one. It wasn't a real Walkman.
What do you mean it wasn't a real Walkman? What does that mean?
I got a knockoff one.
Oh, I've forgotten that Walkman was a Kleenex.
Right.
It was the name of...
Correct. It was
brand.
Sony. It was a Sony Walkman. I had the knockoff. We went to the flea market and got the Wufang 3000, whatever it was called.
You're right. I'm sure I did too. So you put on your Walkman.
Yes.
You turn on, I don't know, here would have been WDIZ. What would you have been listening to in 1982 up there in Brooklyn?
Queens.
Queens, Brooklyn, whatever.
I don't remember because in 1982 I was pretty young and I just listened to tapes. So
Okay.
because they had no metal on our things.
Oh, never.
So I didn't care.
Never. So you turn it on, the radio, and you hear this song playing. It's the #1 song.
And it's not Ebony and Ivory.
Wait, are you cheating?
No, it's always been Ebony and Ivory.
No, it was not last week. Or
Okay.
2 weeks ago. It was not. I'll tell you this, it's the same song from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, geez, I forgot what it was 2 weeks ago. I'm becoming like you. I can't remember.
It was a movie. It was for a movie.
Oh, it was for a movie. You did tell me this.
It's the early 80s. It's the only movies that they just, over and over, endless sequels to this.
Oh, yes, Eye of the Tiger.
You are correct, sir.
Thank you. That was a good thing. Endless sequel. Endless sequel is.
Now, ready for this. You're going to be stunned.
Oh, wait a minute. There's an Easter egg. There is a letter to the recipient hidden in there as well.
There's a letter to the recipient.
He must have inserted one into the thing.
Oh, into maybe the Dungeon Hobby or something?
Yes, I'm guessing.
Okay, but so that's for the recipient.
Right.
We're not the recipient.
We're not the recipient.
Okay. James, you're going to be stunned. Are you sitting down?
I am sitting down.
E.T.'s been knocked down in #1.
Wow, just so soon.
What movie? It's going to be back, though.
That's right.
It's coming back. What movie has knocked out E.T. this week? This is the #1 movie.
From 1982.
It got released this week.
Okay, so that's why it took the next spot.
Correct. We're so excited.
And it's August, so late blockbuster, because it's not really a blockbuster. Blockbusters came out on Memorial Day typically then, if I remember correctly.
And it's not Rocky 3, but it is a sequel.
It's a sequel. Interesting. Crocodile Dundee 2.
Was there a Crocodile Dundee 2?
I'm sure there was.
Oh my God. Why? Oh, the humanity.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, the humanity.
I didn't see the first one. So I don't know. I insult stuff I haven't seen. I shouldn't be.
Goonies. Someone chose Goonies.
It is not Goonies.
No.
It is a horror movie.
Oh, it's a horror movie. Okay, then it's either. I'm gonna say it's Nightmare on Elm Street 2 then.
You are not correct.
Okay, well, hold on.
What else going on there? It is a horror movie. It is the third.
Oh,
Part 3.
Oh, okay. Of Friday the 13th?
That is correct.
Okay. That was the other choice.
Don't act so disappointed.
Well, I picked the wrong one.
Okay.
There indeed was a Dundee 2. See? There you go. It's, well, it was something like Outback, Now in the Outback, or something it was called. Bushwhacked.
Just tell me it ended with 2. I don't know why I said that. It might be good. I have no idea.
I'm sure there's probably a whole series. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure Aliens. Oh, Aliens 2 would have been good too, but I think Aliens 2 would have been right. No, Aliens 2 was 86. I think it was later. Aliens was 79. They waited a few years between them, if I remember correctly.
Now, there was a Porky's too.
Yes, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Was there a Porky's 3? That's the question. I don't remember. Okay, so now we're ready for Random Encounter.
This is the segment on the show where we randomly roll a monster, discuss it, and then have it fight the monster who is the reigning champ, which is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
It's still Mr. Toad's Wild, because he killed the Horfox.
He's been going a while.
He is.
Okay.
He's, it's like in any tournament. If you get good draws, you can move high in the tournament.
Okay, that's true. Oh, so you're saying he's like the 12th seed.
Right.
And he's like now in the Sweet 16.
He's made it to the Sweet 16. Will his luck continue?
And I know, James, you're very happy to see that I have returned with the fecal dice tray.
Right.
And the fecal dice.
They haven't been cleaned, right?
Of course not.
Okay.
And the angry, that would be like ruining it. That would be like refurnishing an old antique desk.
That's right.
And the angry monk dice have returned.
There's only 3 of them.
Oops. Oh no. That's not good.
What happened to the 4th one?
I don't know. Look for it later. It's none of your business. Stop asking lots of questions. Okay. So we roll for Monster Manual 2 or Fiend Folio.
All right.
Would you like to roll, James?
Sure. I haven't touched. You can smell the fecal.
Oh, you want to talk. I come over here and your dog assaults me inappropriately.
Because he smelled the cat. The pussy was all over him. There you go.
Oh.
Did I roll yes?
You rolled Monster Manual 2.
Ah.
Okay. No one's happy. Okay.
Monster Manual 2 is our favorite book, I thought. I have to go get my books.
If you're looking for weirdness. Okay, then I will roll while James is going to get his books. I will roll on
all conveniently. Here they are. Most of them original. The books.
And just remember, folks, one of the reasons to come to GrogCon is so that way you can have James use his label maker.
Right, I have them.
The Dyson label maker, it's over there.
Yeah, hold on, I'll get that too.
The Dyson label maker to put your name in your book.
Jack is sitting right next to you. That's how much he loves you.
I love Jack.
He's like, hey, I'm sorry I got up. You didn't like that.
You know we have a lot to talk about when we're showing, it's like show and tell, and we're showing a label maker.
This is classic. This was a very thoughtful, because not this one, because it's not my original one, but this has the original. There it is.
Right, there it is.
Or back in the day, the original from 19. Oh, did you put yours? Oh, I did. You put it in.
Of
see?
course.
And I have some number by name of Eddie. I don't know who Eddie is anymore. 278-7756. Should probably find out who he is. And there was a hit on, well, not hit. We're trying to help someone book reunification. I feel like we need to put up a wall, like a poster board, not a poster board. Like,
Yes.
And people, when there's unfortunately when there's a tragedy and people put faces of books missing. and just like, have you seen me?
On old milk cartons.
Right. Milk cartons, just something up there. Have you seen this fiend folio?
Oh, it's so sad.
It is
They're
sad.
walking around and they're all, yeah. Oh.
Like a memorial to the book I lost.
Oh, we have like little somber music playing somehow, right? A little
yeah.
speaker, right? And you walk along.
Right. And
Went missing, 1981.
oh, it could be done by year. That's right. That would be great.
DMG. Missing. Okay. That sounds great.
Oh, Jack should take on the first level magic user. I believe so.
Oh, Jack. Okay.
Okay.
All right, James, roll a d10, sir.
Okay. Roll a d10 in just a second. There, some folks are saying there's clicking, so I got to figure. D10. 8.
Oh. We are in the water. It's an aquatic random encounter. So we're on page 137 of the Monster Manual 2. Sir, please roll a D6.
D6.
Find out what type of water we are in.
3.
We are in temperate freshwater. Okay? So what that means, James, is that's like lakes. That's not the ocean. That's not salt. What is he doing?
He's eating this. He's eating
Okay.
he's eating the water. He's eating the tape that he gave us.
Okay. So what was like the daycare center closed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to use patron money on that, so.
Okay. All right, James, I need you to roll a D8 and a D. Oh, what is it? D8 and a D12.
D12. Yes.
You don't. We don't have it. Okay. Well, there's an 8. Hold on. What's the 12 look like?
Really?
Okay, so my backpack is very deep. It's like a backpack of holding. You know what I mean?
This you're talking about other podcasts where there's delays between the things and saying how they're very good job.
Okay, there it is.
See, I also like the way the camera's set up so people can see the dice roll and they can't say there's fudginess. 8.
8. We were in temperate freshwater. Swan.
A swan. Have we had a swan?
Well, yeah, because we fought a swan.
Right. Does that count? Can we do a
Oh yeah, well, because a swan is because a swan is he's not had a he's had a chance to kill a first magic user.
Right.
But the swan has not had a chance to kill the frog.
This may be the same one.
This is perfect. So the
Right.
frog is like heading down to the pond.
Right. After eating the fox and whatever else he's murdered.
Honor Fire in the Monster Manual. Surely Swan is going to be in the Monster Manual 2.
Go ahead. He's just like your paper.
Is he going to eat that map?
He may.
He may eat that clip.
Sit over there.
Okay.
You just have to be rough with it. They're not like cats.
That's true. Okay. Swan. Ready? You are on page 116 of the Monster Manual 2. The creature is Swan. What is its frequency?
Ooh, swan. I would think common, but I'm going to say uncommon.
Uncommon. There are more hill giants
hill giants than there are.
and werewolves.
And werewolves.
Because werewolves are common.
And giant centipedes.
How can werewolves be common? That's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay. Number appearing.
3 to 36.
1 or 2 to 16.
1 or 2 to 16.
25% chance of a loner, the lone swan. 75% chance of 2 to 16. Armor class.
7.
You are correct.
Ooh, I'll take that.
Movement. It says MC:D. What does that mean?
MC, well, that's their, well, that means flying. MCD is their maneuverability class.
There you go. Okay, so
And
what
so
is
D, they're terrible flyers.
Okay, so what's their movement when they're waddling?
When they're waddling. 6.
3.
Wow, they're really slow.
They are.
Okay, that feels.
And when they're flying?
You know what? I'm just keep on the jack cam since they prefer the jack cam better than us.
Big time.
I
That
think
is so clear. Yes. All right.
He's chewing on that. So go ahead. 3 is the movement. I got you.
You're right. And when they're flying?
18.
Correct. Hit dice.
I should know this because we just had it. 2 plus 1.
1 plus 2.
1 plus.
You're dyslexic.
Dyslexic
Do
today.
they have a layer? Descent in layer.
No, they have no lair.
Correct. It is a nil. Now you remember this number of attacks.
3 or some crazy amount.
3.
Right.
Yeah, they're
It's like Affleck. Affleck.
it's ridiculous. They're wing. So they're wing. I mean, I know we've done this before.
Right.
But so if you have 1 hit point and they whack you with a wing,
You're dead.
You're dead. Or at least unconscious. Save me. Okay.
And then they poke you in the eye and they suck your eye out.
Okay. They're surprised they're only on a 1 in 10.
They're on alert.
They are. So we have to remember that when we roll. I'm a 1 in 10.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm curious. We'll see how you calculate surprise now. That'll be good.
No. Please now.
Oh, hold on, I got to turn that back on.
Their intelligence is animal. They are neutral. James, these aquatic birds tend to inhabit areas which similar waterfowl frequent. Rivers, ponds, lakes, marshes. A single swan will always be male. Do you know what a male swan is called?
A swan.
A cob.
A cob.
C-O-B.
Ah, very nice.
Cob. All right?
We were learning all kinds of words today.
Cob,
Domain.
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 Aren't the domains? Aren't those the like demons? Aren't they like?
Oh, daemons?
Oh, they're mains. No mains.
Oh, mains, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, encounters will be with mated pairs of cobs, and females hens, cobs and pens, and they're immature but full-grown cygnets.
Cygnets, huh?
So there's cobs, hens, and cygnets.
Okay.
The latter will number 1 to 2 per mated pair. Like, why do I need? I'm like reading an encyclopedia on swans. Do I really need this information? Who needs to know, like, what possible relevance could this have to your encounter with swans? Like,
Because when, instead of just saying the chicks and the mate, you can say the cob and the whatever and the cygnet. The cygnet.
cygnet. Oh, here's the most important thing. Do they have a treasure type?
Yes.
No, that's awful. But that's the most important thing, because as you always say, follow the treasure type.
That's right.
Right?
Yes. Of course. Why deal with them? They're a waste of time.
In situations where the swan's territory is invaded, or the creatures actually attack, both cob and pen will aggressively threaten or attack as circumstances warrant. Attack is by flying leap, a strong bill strike, and blows with both wings. This attack mode is 50% likely to blind and disorient. You got to remember this.
Okay.
50% likely to blind and disorient an opponent, so as to make any return attack in that melee round impossible. So if they go second, then I've already got my attack, though. That only is going to matter.
Well, unless you rule that you don't get to attack till the following round, till after the other guy goes.
Well,
so what you would say, if you went second and hit me, I wouldn't attack till after you went again.
So technically it says in that melee round.
Then you're correct.
Okay. I know your standard interpretation. Also, swans, much as geese, have exceptional senses, so that the approach of any danger will be noted 90% of the time. I'm sorry. This is a lot of effort
For a swan.
somebody put in for a swan. This would probably be like me, though.
Yeah. You're the we should look in the front. Is Dan Gramansky on the staff writers?
Who is it?
Well, Gary wrote it.
Gary guess this is like, what the? Yeah, that's true. Gary did not write this. If there are eggs, the nest will contain 1 to 3. If there are no eggs or nestlings, so wait.
It's not a cygnet or a cygnet.
So first you're a nestling?
Right. First you're an egg.
So you could be a character. You have levels. You're an egg.
That's right.
Then you're a nestling. And you're cygnet.
Then you're either a cob or the other one.
Maybe this is important because you can be you reincarnated?
As a swan? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You'd have to change the thing, but
Right.
I guess you could.
If there are eggs, the nest will contain 1 to 3. If there are no eggs or nestlings, the swans will escape by swimming or flying when severe danger threatens.
Okay. So
yeah.
you're the swan, so you got a lot to think about here.
Don't you wonder, though, about how many, I would love to hear about real meaning real D&D, encounters with swans. How often did that happen?
Well, it's happened with us in our show.
Okay, but only random rolls. Okay, so who am I?
You're the swan. You're always the challenger.
I'm a cygnet. I'm a fledgling.
You don't know. You have to roll that if you'd like.
Well, my male or female, what am I? Oh, you mean like alone?
Yeah.
Like a little? All right.
Well, that would be terrible. This show got really dark if we're gonna have Toad attack
You. Yes, and
fledgling.
eat. Well, that makes sense.
It does, but it's disgusting.
All right, we'll start with this because I'm most likely going to be a cob. So am I a cob? Start with that. Am I a cob?
No.
Exclamation point.
No.
Am I? Do you remember the female?
I don't know. Pen.
Am I a pen?
Well, if you're not
Penny.
Okay, I hope so, because then you're... Yes.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
All right. Do I have any fledglings or nestlings or whatever they're called?
No but.
I'm pregnant.
Gotta write
Look at
that.
Jack.
Hold on, what is that? Look at it. He's like, what?
Wait, don't you have that music? Bum, bum, bum.
Oh yeah, we do. The suspense music. Hold on. Oh, I turned it off because.
Oh wait, I can redo it. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so but I'm pregnant. Jack. Oh, Jack's a great fan. Oh, he's coming over here. He's scared.
He's scared.
All right, so
Well,
I got a bun in the oven. I got a nestling in the oven.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm pregnant. I gotta write that
this?
down.
Oh, hey.
I gotta write that down.
Oh,
He's
he's
worried about you.
scared.
He's worried about you.
Oh, it's like Friday the 13th. Oh my God, this is the Friday the 13th edition of Random Encounters. So it's Friday the 13th, and so is the toad gonna have like a mask, like a hockey mask?
Oh, I bought some masks. So you want me to put the mask on that he's?
Did you have what kind of mask did you buy?
Well, I bought lots of masks.
Okay, I really need to do an audit. Am I gonna have to like send the FBI over here to do a search?
Yeah, you
Do you
probably
have like
should.
confidential documents
You
here?
probably should.
All right,
Okay.
what am I gonna find?
Let's see.
You're like Weisselman or whatever. We're gonna have to indict you, man.
Well, I was
Misuse of funds.
no, because you officially sent me a note saying I could do whatever I want.
Oh, great. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Oh, that's... Whoa, what is that? That's
I don't know,
great.
some creepy face.
That is just... Yeah, it's just like generic creepy face.
Yeah.
Oh, that is kind of creepy. I don't like that.
Actually, he's going to be part of the pseudo undead. I bought masks for the pseudo undead.
Oh, that is creepy. Oh, what's Jack? Okay. So James is now wearing a very creepy mask. Okay. So all right, so it's a Friday the 13th edition.
Go to your bed.
So,
your bed. Go to your
oh, wait a second. Wasn't there a lake?
Yeah.
So I'm in a lake on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Crystal Lake.
So I'm in Crystal Lake. All right, so I'm the swan. I'm pregnant.
And now the Toad Ripper is coming.
Wait, now am I allowed to get an abortion? Is that illegal or not?
I think it's upstate New York, so yes.
Okay, it's 82. I still do that.
Yes.
Okay, I better hurry. 'Cause
Why would
40 years from now.
Why would you do that? Then you won't. Maybe the guy's going to come back. Maybe you're putting this a lot of drama in there. Perhaps he's the cob is just away.
You're right. He said he was going out for cigarettes.
Right.
I'm sure he'll be back. Okay, so I'm the swan, and I am there. I am pregnant.
I think I like this mask better than my face.
It's a slight improvement. It's close. Toss up. And I'm there, and now I'm very alert. So rolling for surprise. So
Right,
the
okay,
frog is coming.
You got to figure this out now, Dan.
Frog's coming. Well, if I'm not surprised, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, it's probably like based upon like divided percentages. Okay, so we're rolling for surprise, correct?
Right.
So I roll a d10.
You roll a
surprised.
D10.
Only 1 in
10.
10. 9. I'm not surprised. Thank God.
No one's surprised.
Okay. All right.
That makes it easy.
All right. So now we are doing distance, correct?
Yes, distance. We are 70 yards away from each other.
Okay. So what are you doing? Are you coming down for like a drink or something? What are you doing?
I was coming to eat some hatchlings.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
I'd like to kill the kid with the gum. I got to start breathing like the.
Well, that's why I heard you. Very stealthy.
Yes. Ridip. Ridip. Ridip.
It's a horror movie. All right. So here comes. All right. So we're rolling for initiative.
I smell swans.
Baby swan.
What's your thing again? The pen?
I'm a pen.
Pen.
I'm Henny Penny.
Penny.
What's that? Who said that?
Penny.
Who said that? Where are you?
Penny.
Where's the cob? All right.
Penny.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop and attack you.
How far can you hop?
Well, we went over this. What page were you in that? Isn't that thing?
Well, I'm on page 116 of the Monster Manual too.
I know, Jack, you're losing your mind over this because you're like, why does he have a piece of salami on his face?
Oh, thank God.
It's a little warm. I'm just saying. Okay, you're on page 121. What'd you say?
I'm on page 116 of the Monster Manual.
116. Okay, and I'm on Toad, Giant.
Do you realize a swan could be our reigning champ?
Could be.
We've gone from a red
85.
dragon.
Right.
to-
Oh, and a Wanti or whatever
yeah.
the thing was.
Oh, what's the one thing I never heard of that kills everything? It's just enormous. It's just
Oh, the Tarask.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tarask. Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm on page 95. For
Okay.
those. Okay, so I can do 6 plus a 6-foot hop. So, yeah, I'm going to be jumping and leaping at you.
Oh, so can I? Okay, so you can be leaping right under my beak.
Right.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
it.
it's basically a charge. I'm charging and hopping. Here's my, and you were doing the same thing. 3.
3.
Oh, it all's going down.
How many hit points do you have? What's your hit dice?
2 plus 4.
Oh, it's not good for me. I'm 1 plus 2. Can I? I'm gonna roll my hit points. Can I? Because I need to
Okay,
know.
1 plus 2. Go
I
ahead.
need to know. I rolled a 1. I have 3 hit points.
That's not good for you.
Boo.
Boo. I have a bunch.
Oh,
I have 16 hit points.
16 to 3. Oh, this
I'm
could
a
be
giant
rough.
toad and I have 16 hit points. How does
Oh
that make
man,
you feel?
I'm AC 7. What's your AC? It's not good.
I think it's about 6.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good. All right, so simultaneous. Go ahead, make your beak attack.
It's gonna make it. Well, I have 3 attacks, don't I?
Right. So I'm gonna say. So here's the thing: when you have multiple attack routines. Now again, this is one attack routine, right?
Because I'm a creature.
Right.
So it doesn't count like not
Right.
like right. It's not.
So but you could, if you wanted to, say your beak goes before your beak would go, and then
right.
my whatever I'm doing, and then your 2 thing attacks. But because of the attack routine, and monsters have attack routines, that would not be
Right.
the case.
So I get 3. Here we go.
Yes.
All right, come on, big money. 10.
And I gotta look that up.
Oh,
Go ahead,
I'm
keep going.
sure it's a big no.
It's pretty. It's
1 plus 6.
15. That's a hit.
Come on, give me 15. That was the third. Oh, that's good, because that is that's the beat. Because it's
Oh, it
1,
is?
1, 1. Well, it says 1, 1, 1 to 2.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. You poke someone's eye out.
You know, I wish I could, like the Raven, Crow, or pawing and pawing.
I wish I had a PDF of this. All right, I'm ready.
I don't. Okay, well, are you?
I
No,
am
you're
ready.
not. I
1
can
plus
see that you're
2.
not ready.
1 plus AC 6. You needed a 12.
So I had once. All right, here's the beak.
You need
1
1
point.
point. All right, now he gets his attack. 14. That's a hit.
See, oh,
Does 2? How many hit points you have?
3.
Not anymore.
Oh.
You have 6. You had say goodbye.
No, divine. Well,
Oh, divine
yes.
bird intervention. Go ahead.
That was fast. That's like Mike Tyson. Boy, how many has the Toad won now?
He's going to retire soon. If he wins one more, I think. I got to check.
That's incredible. That means he makes it to the Tournament of Champions.
He does.
That's incredible. He's gotten really easy opponents. It's ridiculous. You're fighting a bunch of bums. When are you going to fight somebody? When are you going to take on a real opponent? You fought like a dwarf? You fight like a dwarf or something?
Yeah, it was a 6-level dwarf.
Okay.
He's fought. I can look this up. Do I have to look
It
it up?
does, no, you don't. I'm rolling for divine intervention.
I think he fought a kobold.
27. No.
Bam.
All right, that was fast.
Hold on, I gotta give you the.
It's been a long time since I've gotten this much action.
I really wish I had the camera for this.
No, you don't.
Come here. Stop humping the co-host.
Yeah, it's forbidden.
It's in the contract.
Yes.
No humping. Well, that was quick.
Okay.
So, she was pregnant. So.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, wait a second. Did she give birth during it?
Wow.
And is there a final attack?
Okay, sure.
Okay, did she give birth during it?
No. He just ate. He ate her soul,
Oh, yeah.
baby and all. Babies and all.
It's horrible. He's like, the bones.
Yes, he is chewing on a squeaky toy, and more importantly, he wants Dan to play, so he's been humping Dan under the table. It's hilarious. I've entertained you've a lot of entertainment today. So anyway, well, that was anticlimactic, but so far, I think if he wins one more, he's the winner.
That's incredible. Okay.
All right. Now we're on to Sage Advice.
Oh, okay.
What's Sage Advice about, Dan?
This is the segment of the show where one of us reads sage advice questions from Dragon Magazine to the other host, and the answerer tries to be sagacious,
Right.
get them right. And we are at the point where James is asking me questions. And I assume James has probably picked up, questions from the astral plane again or something.
No, no more astral plane ones. We're not doing it anymore because I don't think you appreciated it.
I'm not a good sport. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, I am.
This
ready.
is why I like cats. Do you like Jack? Jack's fine.
Jack's the only dog I like.
Yes. I can't wait to tell my wife because we had him fixed because we thought, oh, that'll fix his humping. He's been humping more lately. So I don't know what's going on. Are you needing to feel dominant over people? Okay. Go lay down. Go to your bed. Go to your bed. Don't hump him. All right. We'll start with an easy one. This is from, by the way, Dragon76, because we're already that far up.
I am ready, sir.
Okay. Can you see down here? You can't see down there.
No, I can't see down.
All right. Can a dungeon master give away magic items in an adventure and then later say the items operate at reduced effectiveness or have wholly new powers?
Well, the answer is the dungeon master can do anything they want. So the answer would be yes, though I would think they would need to provide an explanation have some sort of explanation ready to go as to why that has happened. But sure, players are going to be kind of unhappy if you go south as opposed to north on the powers. But yeah, I mean, isn't the answer, can the dungeon master?
Right.
Right then the answer is yes.
I agree with you.
But be cautious of it. They're going to say yes, but be nice to your players and blah, blah, blah.
And I believe this is perineum, perineum, by the way. I don't think there's cited with any. No.
So what happened, it sounds like they maybe gave something away and it was too powerful. Now, if they give something away and it's too powerful, you should probably have a conversation with the players and just fess up and say, well, I gave you an item that's kind of broken the game. It's my bad. So if it was your fault, you may want to take responsibility for it.
Right. Well, I agree with that. So what do they say? It may be that the DM has planned ahead that certain magic items would indeed change their abilities over time. Wand of Wonder does unpredictable things. But often DMs alter magic items as a way to bringing the campaign back into order if they find that giving away some powerful items that are too tough to manage. This is not a good way of handling the situation, since it does violate the spirit of the rules, but it is one way to handle things. It would be better to set up situations working with the rules than to arbitrarily say, well, your +4 sword is now +1 sword. Yeah, that would suck. Players will accept changes done within the rules better if they feel, and rightly so, that they are getting rooked. They're getting rooked. So I'm going to give you a ding-ding, even though I don't have the thing on. You get a ding-ding.
Okay, thank you.
These questions, they're kind of ones I think they're pretty softball-y. But here's one that's up your alley.
Okay, I'm ready.
In the Player's Handbook, it states that Rangers will not congregate in groups larger than 3. But the Lord of the Rings by J.L. Tolkien, this restriction does not appear. What do you say?
Okay, so this is a pretty common one. I feel pretty confident on this one. The answer, of course, is while the Lord of the Rings may have been an inspiration for certain things such as halflings or the Ranger, it was not copied exactly, and therefore the Rangers in the Player's Handbook are not in all respects the same as Rangers in Lord of the Rings. And I think if I recall correctly, that they're not congregating is that you're supposed to be sort of, well, wait a second. What Rangers were in that Lord of the Rings had?
Strider's considered a Ranger.
Because he's alone.
Right.
And what's the question again? Why can't they? Can I get a question again?
So you spent so much time thinking about the answer, you forgot the question.
Yeah, well, so he's unhappy that you can't have more than 3, or he's unhappy that you can have more than 1?
Yeah. In the Player's Handbook, it states that Rangers will not congregate in groups larger than 3. But in The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, this restriction does not appear.
Oh, wait. It says Rangers, you can't have I thought you can't have 3 or more rangers like in a party or something like that.
They can congregate.
You mean you can't? A ranger won't be in a party that has more than 3 total players?
No, rangers.
Rangers. Okay.
There can't be 3 in any area. Well, look up in the players.
No,
center.
that's what I thought. Yeah, no, I get that. Right,
they're
because they're
supposed to be
spreading
spread
out.
out, that's right.
Right, because there's evil everywhere. It's
That's
kind of
right.
like, what are you guys?
Yeah.
If we're all here, who's there? Uh-oh.
That's right.
The
Uh-oh.
orcs are right.
The giant toads are jumping over the fortresses. And,
Swans.
And Vastri is attacking the Swan City. The
Exactly.
Swan City is lost.
Swan City. I like it. Swan City. That's good. So we don't ever see another ranger. Do we see any?
There were loads of rangers per minion in Lord of the Rings.
There are?
That's what he
Did
said.
they congregate?
He said, because now they're quoting, now you see.
Oh, they're going like the Silmarillion and all that stuff?
No, in the Return of the King, you've unleashed the Kraken.
Who's a ranger?
In
other
Return of
than-
the King, Strider's fellow rangers band together to fight in Gondor.
Oh, I didn't know that there were more rangers. Did you remember that?
No, because you were spending so much time on Tom Bombadil.
That's true. I did kind of just, yeah, interesting.
He is one of many rangers. He's one of them rangers, strange folks. That was a quote from Dave Mills. Thank you, folks, for setting him straight. Because if it didn't happen in the first book, well, I think that first quote did come from the first book. Fellowship, when they probably were there in B or something.
Okay,
when
well,
they were talking.
Okay, well, so the answer is that the rangers are not exactly the same.
Yes.
In D&D.
The short version is the AD&D system is not Lord of the Rings. He goes on and says longer things about. He goes long on about, it's not the same. They're different. AD&D game more broadly should not be interpreted as literally in the light of the books and materials not developed by TSR Inc.
Right.
And should apply no IP was taken or leveraged in their things.
Halflings are not hobbits.
That's right. They're totally different. All right. Here's another softball. This was I call this the softball version.
So this is like the first exam, like when you get that first exam, or like chapter 1 practice questions.
These are all pretty softball.
Yeah, no, this class is gonna be easy,
Yeah.
so you don't drop it, and then you're like 2 weeks later, you're like, what? Okay.
Yes. So, can a player become a free-willed vampire and be played like any other player character?
A free-willed vampire. I don't know what that means exactly.
Well, you can look it up. It's in the monster manual.
Oh, really? Vampires become free-willed? I didn't know you're not, at some point you're not free-willed?
No.
Oh, okay.
You should. What page are you on in Vampire?
I am on page 99.
It's a big long thing, so I
It
probably
really is. I'd really like to get some garlic
I
here.
probably should look this up so this won't take forever.
The most dreaded of the chaotic evil undead
Yes.
is the night prowling vampire. I must rest in a coffin or similar receptacle. I wonder what kind of other thing I would have in a coffin. During hours of sunlight, unless beneath the surface of the ground. In the latter case, they must occasionally return to such rest.
Go to the next to last paragraph in the thing.
Oh, so glad you told me, because that was a lot of paragraphs. Any human or humanoid drained of all life energy by a vampire becomes an appropriately strength vampire. Oh, under control of his slayer. Oh. So that's a little bit like the white, too. Don't you become like
whites and ghouls, all of them become.
But I'm not under anyone's control if I'm a ghoul or a white.
White
right?
you are.
Oh, am I?
Well, it's 2 pages down. You can go check that later.
Okay, it's in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
This transformation takes place one day. Okay, so I'm drained of all life energy by a vampire. Oh, so this is what could happen. Oh, so I could be rescued by my party, right? They could get me out of there.
They could.
But I'm under the control of the vampire.
But most likely they're all dead.
Most likely. Well, they can get me out of there.
Okay.
This transformation takes place one day after the creature is buried. Wait. Wait, am I the creature? I'm the creature.
Yes, now you're the creature.
I'm called the creature?
Right.
That's terrible. Oh, so it doesn't happen until I'm buried.
Right.
Oh. But that sort of assumes, does the vampire bury me? So that's sort of okay, so let's assume, all right, so I'm buried. For some reason, what does a vampire do with people it kills and drains? Like why am I being buried?
So you can be a servant of his.
He's burying me.
Yes.
Okay.
Or one of his servants are. Probably he's not doing it. He's got servants.
Bury him.
Like Renfield, right? Renfield. Wasn't he the servant of Dracula?
Okay, so Renfield buries me.
Right.
And then one day after the creature's buried, but if and only if he's buried. So I've got to be buried. Thus, it's possible to have a Pyric, get out. How did I not know about this?
Because it's all evergreen to you, Dan.
It is a vampiric thief. It's only been here since 1970.
7.
A vampiric thief, cleric, chaotic evil, and vampire. Oh, so you could. Oh, so obviously I'm like 40 years late to this party. Baddies, people have like the vampire cleric.
Right.
So you can go in there, in the vampire's lair, and he's got like a ton of these vampire like
Right.
little subordinates.
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. If the vampire which slew the creature is itself killed, the vampire created by it becomes free-willed monsters. Okay. So
So one I remember.
vampires of the Eastern world are invisible.
Yes, they're even worse.
I love the Eastern world. Like this is Earth. You know what I mean? They're always
Right.
like spices. When you talk about like magic carpets, they talk about like in the East.
It's in the Solar Ocean, that part.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
Just like, or in the well, where would that be in our world? In the world of Dog Empire.
Glad you asked, James.
Thank you.
If you bought the map, you'll be able
You
to
can't do that yet, but eventually you will.
look at this. You know what ocean this is? Look at that. Look at the name of that ocean.
Villamere.
Kelly Villamere.
That's right, the Villamere.
We have named people. It's in the Villamere.
So and the Collerton Mountains, east of the Marsh of Stefan, is where the Eastern vampires are.
Okay. And look,
The Moor,
what kind of more?
Roger, who's that?
The Roger Moore.
Oh, Roger. Oh, the humanity! I got to turn this back.
This map is evergreen to you.
This is it is your fantasy indeed made. Excellent.
Rob
Well
Ritchie
done,
was
sir.
involved.
Well done. The puns were there. Okay, go hump him. Hump him. For that, he gets 5 humps.
That's what should happen when I get in trouble. It's a new segment of the show.
Discipling the acolyte.
That's right. Okay.
We will now punish you with humping.
Yes, send in Jack, not Jack. Okay.
Go lay down.
So yes. Okay. So what's the question now? Because all I had to do was look this up. Well, I didn't know about this.
Okay, no, hold on. I gotta go back because. Can a player character become a free will vampire and be played like any other character?
Yes.
That's the question.
Well, played like any other character? I don't know about that, but the answer is clearly, well, if the DM allows it. So what happens is, look, this could happen multiple ways. You could drag the guy out of there, and I guess if I return, well, I don't know. I mean, if the DM allows it, it's basically you are a monster now. You're not yourself anymore. You've died, right? Wait, wait a second. If you're drained of all energy levels, oh, you're not dead.
You died, but
Wait. Oh, I guess I did die. If you go to 0 energy level, you're dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, if you go down to 0 hit point, not 0 energy level.
Well, it says drained of all life energy.
That also means you're dead.
Okay. Do you lose?
Because you could be a 0 level character if you remember correctly. That's what happened with the
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
If you have a 0 level character, then you can't play anymore.
They opened a bakery.
That's right. They opened a bakery.
So, do you lose energy? You lose. There's level drain with vampires. Is that right?
2 level drains.
Okay.
Yes, massive.
So I'm at 0. So what happens when I hit 0 and I get more drains? I don't. I end at 0, right?
Right.
Okay.
But you're probably going to die because you don't have any more hit points. Because you're taking damage. So when you get hit for 5 to 10 plus energy drain. So for instance, if you 3rd level and you had 30 hit points, let's use that for argument's sake. You get hit. You're now 1st level. You lose the 2 levels of hit points that you had, whatever you rolled. That's why it's important you have to keep track of hit points when you rolled them.
But it's possible, even if unlikely, that I'm drained of energy levels.
Yes, you could.
And I'm alive.
It could be. It's extremely unlikely, but yes.
I don't think I'm not becoming a vamp. This seems to strongly imply that I have to die because I got to be buried.
Right. If you're dead,
Right.
You're not buried alive. You'd have to be dead. Yes.
Wait, what if I'm dead, but I'm not drained of all life energy levels?
Then you don't.
So I've got to be both drained of all
Correct.
life energy and be dead.
Yes.
What happens if I've been drained of life energy and then I die of old age?
Then I don't know what happens.
40 years later.
Then I don't think the player cares about that at that point. So.
Okay, so let's just say it all goes down normal.
Right.
As I'm drained of all my energy, I'm also killed.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And then I'm buried.
then you're buried.
And then I'm buried.
Yes.
Now, I do think that there is a chance that I could be buried by my comrades who drag me, no man left behind. They pull me out of there, right? And like, let's get the hell out of here.
And they inadvertently bury you without any precaution.
I'm dead. Well, they're like me. Why have you been looking at the monster manual, sir?
Yeah.
Player.
Right.
Back in the day, you just be like, we need to bury this guy.
Right.
And so then how does he, I guess he just kind of like claw your way out. You're strong.
You're very strong. 1876.
So you come
If I
out
remember
there.
correctly, their strength is 1876.
You're right. So they come out there. It's very convenient because they get those extra points, don't they? Does that mean that you give them strength hit? Do you get the bonus then?
Well, that's why I think the 5 to 10 includes that.
Oh, okay. So then you set master. Is that right?
Right. He's your master.
I'm looking for my
She's your
master. And I probably can sense where the master is probably, and I'm like walking
Right.
towards the master.
Right. Exactly.
And then I find master's dead.
Then
I'm
you
like,
have
oh.
free will. Then you're free. You're free to start your own. You're not part of the. You're not part of the multi-level marketing anymore. You can start your own multi-level marketing.
My own org chart.
Right.
So that's how that's how vampires become vampires, right? I mean, so you were basically working under somebody, and then
Right.
they die, and now you're
Somehow
free
they
will.
got kicked off. Right.
So when the big vampire dies, like all 20
Right.
of his subalterns are sitting there like, what do we do now? Go, you're free.
Or they maybe conspire, but they have to do it in a way that the big vampire doesn't figure that out.
Wait, what? You mean they're like a cabal? You mean they're...
Well, because if you become free will, all of us have been killed by the vampire. We're all sitting around.
Yeah.
Like, boy, it'd be nice if we were free will vampires.
It would be.
Maybe we should go find a party to take on that guy.
Can we do that? But he's our master.
Well, it'd have to be a way to do it secretly.
We are chaotic. I think you're sort of like beholden, though. It's like a magical bond.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, because the charm is very powerful there.
Okay. So I've been buried.
But that would be a good adventure. That one of these is a little more, because again, let's say you're a 12th level cleric. You're pretty powerful. Now you're under the spell of some crappy vampire. You're like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, you're like, I'm better than you.
You're
How
right.
did I lost to this guy?
Right, exactly. You got on top of me. I couldn't protection from evil fast enough.
He's the boss.
Right, he's the boss.
I'm
now.
better than him.
Exactly.
Like everyone thinks.
Right, exactly.
The way
I could do your job.
So you're just waiting for him to die. Okay. So like the party's walking by. You're like, he's down there.
Right. Right there. His coffin's. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Right there.
Yeah, Count Chocula. Okay. So.
Then you're on your own. Now you're a cleric and a vampire.
So there's a knock on the door one day. So you're like the party. You're like
Right.
hanging out in your whatever.
Yep.
It's been like 2 years.
Yeah.
Your buddies are all at college.
Or 200 years, yeah.
So you're in college.
Right.
You're at wherever tech, whatever. And the knock's on the door. And there I am. You're like, Dan? I'm like, yeah.
Especially at night.
At
Hopefully
night.
It's at night, yeah.
I like, just to let you know, I continue playing the campaign. And
That's right.
the vampire's dead with me and my sister, right? And I'm back. So I'm ready to join the band again.
Exactly.
And I think the answer to that, look, oh, that wasn't good. That dog was about to eat that die. Wasn't he eating a die?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it.
And I think the answer to this is only if you look. You've got to go to playing monsters in the DMG discussion because you're a monster. You're dead. You died.
Right.
So the answer is only if the DM allows it. I think it's ridiculous. No, you shouldn't have a vampire in the party.
So yes. So no, a player character who becomes a vampire also becomes a non-player character under the dungeon master's control. Otherwise, the character is too powerful and the game balance starts to disappear as the PC vampire vampirizes the countryside. Vampirizes. All undead creatures should be NPCs to emphasize the humanocentric of the AD&D game system.
Okay, human-centric, but if you're reincarnated.
Right, as a vampire.
Or as a badger. You can play those. Isn't there a lizard man in the Rogues Gallery?
There's a lizard man, this and that.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing the vampire, which the first time I saw it was in Vault of the Drow. The succubus has a lover who is a drow vampire, which is super cool.
Oh, and so you can have any character class because a
Right.
person died. So apparently when you die, you keep your...
Right, that's what they're saying. You actually, From a player perspective, because anytime players get level drained, they're like, just kill me now because I don't want to deal with it. That's why typically if a white attacks me, I just start hugging them if they hit me one time or a vampire hits you, because you become like I said, I'm a 7th level fighter. I get hit by a vampire. I'm now 5th level. Just have them finish you off, because then you'll be a 7th level fighter vampire, which is super cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, you'd be under the control of the vampire, but at that point, who cares?
So if you were like, so you could become like head of the Thieves Guild or Assassin's Guild as a vampire. You're a vampire, you're an assassin. You come back.
Right.
You're
really badass.
Oh, so I'm the head of the Assassin's Guild, and I'm going to go hug a vampire. I'm like, take me. Here's my neck, right?
Right.
And then I'll like bide my time. What do I care? Bide my time. And then when he goes, I come back and I'm like, so the head of the Assassin's Guild could be a vampire.
That's right. Anyone could be a vampire.
Cool.
And I would allow it. It depends on the circumstance. Like if they're 1st level, no, of course not. I would not allow a vampire 1st level thing. But if they were high enough level, they're mentioning lycanthropes, because again, like characters get lycanthropy. Mm-hmm. But the thing with lycanthropy is, for a while, it's a complete curse. In other words, it's random. Your stuff falls off. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
You don't know why you're always angry.
You don't. You could change alignment here. The bigger problem is you become chaotic evil. You're a vampire. There's no in 1st edition AD&D, there's no lawful good vampires. There's no neutral good vampires. You are evil.
So I could be like a halfling vampire.
Of course.
I'm a halfling thief vampire.
Well, again, it's because I think it said any humanoid. Doesn't matter if it's a soul or a spirit in here. It didn't, if I remember correctly.
Oh, good point.
Any humanoid. You could be a goblin vampire.
Wait, any human or humanoid?
Right.
Well, I didn't say demi-human. It didn't say demi-human.
Well, humanoid's included with that.
Sure.
I'm going to say yes.
Or humanoid. So you can be an orc vampire?
Yeah, goblin vampire. Kobold vampire.
Really...
vampiric kobold. That's a great vampiric kobold.
So the head of the kobold, the head of the goblins. So the Goblin King could be like a vampire goblin? He's like a vampire goblin. He's got like a big black cape.
Right.
He's not that big. He's kind of short.
Right.
Short black cape.
And he's way more powerful than just a stupid goblin.
So you go in there to fight him, and next thing you know, you're like, what the?
Right.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And he could have been a shaman.
Right.
So he's like a shaman.
Witch doctor,
goblin.
vampire goblin. There, you've just made your next adventure.
It writes itself. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, that's a better big bad. Don't you think, than like the human, like Lugosi? It should be like the little goblin guy.
The problem with this is what the guy said, or the Procurium said in here, is that unlike the game, what would the PC vampire do? He'd be lining up the town. He'd drain everyone. He'd make towns full of undead vampires. And he would just go from town to town. And eventually, at night, he would assault everything and make everyone vampires. That's what they would do.
And and we're out adventuring during the day, and he's asleep.
Right.
Where is that guy? This is not. Eventually, we just be like, we don't think this is working.
That's right. Besides your chaotic evil and trying to constantly drain us of our levels.
We're going to have to kill you. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Right, yes. Goblin vampires. You got it. So I think we beat this to death.
But well, let me beat it just one time. So what you could do is, though, you could have an adventure where, like, you have to kill your old PC.
Of course.
Buddy.
Right.
You're like your PC buddy,
Right, he got drained and he comes back. I mean, you had that in
in
your thing where we got attacked by whoever and we came back as zombies.
Yeah, or somebody was killed and they went there and there he was.
Zombie.
Okay.
And that's the problem with the PCs doing it. They always will max that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They will become a vampire and they'll be like, oh, cool. I go to a town. I turn everyone into a vampire. Now I have a whole army of vampires.
Right.
Half of them I turn into vampires. The other half I turn as guards to watch me over the daytime so that I can be protected.
And then the problem is when I die, then they all go off free-willed.
Right.
And they just multiply.
Well, yeah, multiply. It's just breeding like rats, and eventually it's a problem. So there has to be, you have to have that kind of thing. All right, one more. Here's there's a lot of ones in here. Here's a good one. One more. Let's do. Look at that. Gen 15. Here's more tactical. Can a character who is paralyzed yell for help? Can such a character use psionics, cast spells?
Oh,
So
I
you
would.
have 3 questions.
These are very good questions. I would say no to. Oh well, certainly I'd say no to calling for help. I mean, if you're paralyzed, you can't move at all. What was the third one?
The first one was yell. Second was psionics. Third is cast spells.
Cast spells. Clearly, no. I mean, everything's going to have somatic, right? A minimum somatic, I would think. So I think the answer is clearly no on spells. I don't know enough about psionics to answer whether you have any sort of movement.
It was optional, so that was extracurricular.
We never used it. We didn't like it. So I would say with psionics,
Jack,
I'm
he's staring at you. He's waiting.
the
for you to
Jack
answer.
Cam. Yeah, I don't know on psionics, but I say no.
Well, you have to. There's
Question.
there is no.
Got it.
Yes or no. You roll a dice, make a decision.
Can you use psionics while you're paralyzed? No. I'm going to say no, no, no. No down the board.
You should use the dice. So yes, no for the first one. You cannot yell for help. Yes, because the mind is unaffected. No, unless the being that is paralyzed has innate spell-like powers, like those of a demon, devil, beholder, etc.
Right.
So you were right.
Okay.
Yeah, basically somatic or verbal. You can't do either of those.
Yeah.
You
Right.
may have the material components, but you can't get to them.
Right.
All right. Well, very good. We have plenty more of this. So that was very good. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the idea is with psionics is that your mind is not affected. That's what makes paralyzation so horrific. Is that the ghoul is eating you and you can't do anything about it.
Yes. You sit and watch.
Right.
Your eyes are moving around.
Well, you're fixed at somewhere and you're watching him eviscerate. Well, unless your eyes are up here, then that wouldn't be bad because you don't feel. Maybe assume. Do you have any pain? Scream in space or something like that?
I don't know.
Because you let.
That's great.
It's one of the pseudo undead
Okay.
things. Masks. I think it's awesome. It was cheaper than the other mask. You should be happy I spent money on that one. All right, very good. Now we are on to, I got to turn this on. Hopefully it doesn't blow up the stupid thing. Artifact Roadshow. What do we do on Artifact Roadshow, Dan?
This is a show. This is a completely novel idea.
Never copied from anything.
I play someone who has brought an item that I believe is magical to the Artifact Roadshow for appraisal by James. And James will try to identify the item and give an estimate of value based upon the information I provide. And the rub is James does this without use of an identification spell, an identify spell.
Correct.
Based on information. I will randomly roll. So James is not going to watch.
Correct.
As I go to the DMG, I go to the treasure section. I flip to table number 3, page 121 of the DMG. I will now roll the item. James will have no idea.
I'm going to stare at the dog while I do this.
Okay, and I will hold this up to the camera.
Now I'm going to walk over here. Look over here.
So there you see what it is. I will now roll the percentile dice. And I will show, fortunately, if you're listening to this,
Doesn't really help you.
doesn't help you. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just take a quick look and read this just to make sure. I think this,
It's a mail again.
and thankfully it is not plate mail. Okay, now if I believe,
Go ahead.
hang on, I think there's something
Do we have
here.
a prop for it?
Oh, let me see. Show me your props, sir.
Well, there's some props.
Yes, we do have a prop for this.
Okay.
We do have a prop for this. Hold on, but I am going to go to another table because there's a useful table here. So I am on page 221. I'm in Appendix K.
I am not looking.
So this will help me give some characteristics to this.
Okay.
So I'm rolling a D10. I rolled an 8. Okay.
Very compelling stuff.
Right. I need to draw on this. I do that. People will probably be horrified. I do that. Okay. Okay. Hold on just a second.
Jack and I are going to go take a nap on the couch, on the grog couch.
Oh, I really don't understand. I'm just sort of winging this.
Apparently.
Hold
Wow,
on, where's
this-
my D30? Yeah,
this
well,
is-
yeah, I don't really know how to use this.
This is
Okay. All right.
okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't really. Oh, hold on. There's more to. Wow. There's more to this. Hold on a second.
And I
There's
thought
more to this.
I thought it would be hard on me. No, it's hard on Dan. Maybe the +3 play mail was the way to go.
Hold on. There's more. I kind of like this though. Actually, we got to talk about this when I'm done with this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, welcome to Artifact Roadshow. I'm James. This is Jack. He is the lead appraiser. What brings you here today?
Hi. I'm Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie. And so.
And you're a woman, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Not that it's important. I just want to clarify that.
Hello, Jack. So yeah. So as you'll see, I have this. It looks like a little bottle of liquid.
Uh-huh.
And I'm concerned. I found this in my son's closet.
Oh, no.
Yes.
How old is your son?
He's 12.
12.
And he's
A little young to be working in alchemy, so young.
12 going on 16.
Oh,
And he
tough years.
he didn't tell me about it. I found it. I was going through some of his clothes.
Okay.
And I found this. And
Did you dust for it? Did you check for fingerprints?
no, I did. Should I have done that?
You've touched it now, so we don't know. But it's okay. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't know.
It's hard. This is a hard transition. I totally understand.
And as you can probably see, it's vaporous.
It's vaporous. Interesting.
It's vaporous, and you'll notice here, in terms of transparency, it's kind of flecked, and it also phosphorescent, as you will see, and it is citrine color.
Interesting.
I've been told that's a type of yellow. So I found this yellow.
Yellow, phosphorus, vaporous, something else.
Yes.
Liquid.
Yes. And so that's all I know. And I was concerned. He told me. I questioned him.
Oh, good. What'd he say?
Well, he told me it was a urine sample.
I'd be even more disturbed if it was fluorescent.
And that's exactly. I thought that was ridiculous, and I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it now, but I'll just look at it.
What he's into.
Right.
And so I thought I better bring this down here.
To the Artifact Road.
Well, I thought that maybe, so a friend said you're very good. He said she watches you on the telly. She says that she thinks you're great. She really does.
Yeah.
She watches you every week.
So
all the time.
I have permission to look at it now?
And she thinks you're great.
Oh, well, she's very
She thinks
kind.
you're very handsome.
Well,
and very smart.
Well, I usually wear the mask when I'm on the show, but today I'm not wearing it.
She thinks you're awesome.
Oh, that's really
my friend.
Your friend, yes.
Who watches the show.
So, exactly.
Every week.
What's your friend's name?
I can't. I don't know. Well,
what does she think about Jack?
I didn't realize you were so tall. You seem shorter on TV.
And fatter. Well, this is very kind of your friend to tell you to come here.
Yeah.
That's very kind. So I typically do with kind of potions or some ointment or some other something in a liquid. I feed it to Jack and see how he reacts to it. So let's see. Let's see. Jack, come here. Let's see. What do you think about that?
So Jack.
All right. What happens to Jack?
With Jack. So does Jack?
He's just taking a sniff.
Would he just taking a sniff?
So he's licking.
Would he lick? Well, wait. Was Jack gonna lick? Does Jack like things that are tart?
Well, I don't know. We'll
Let's
find
see.
out.
No.
No.
Jack.
Oh, it's
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
Well, he did lick it. So.
Did he lick it?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so his tail's going kind of real fast.
Ooh. Well, very good. Good job, Jack. See, that's why Jack is very useful.
And he's kind of getting up. He's kind of running around.
Oh, excellent. Well,
But that's typical of Jack.
that's true. But he seems awful more hyper than normal as well.
That is correct.
Yeah. By the way, this is Jack the 7th. We've had multiple Jacks.
I know.
Yeah.
He was 6.
Oh,
I have statistics on all of them.
Your friend has told you about this?
Does Jack want a new mommy? Does Jack need?
Does Jack want a new mommy? I don't know.
I love dogs.
Oh, well, here you go. Here. If the
Here,
dog
Jack.
if the dog if he humps you, then you can be his new mommy.
Come to mama.
I love Danny's like doesn't know what to do with the dog. He's like, ooh, it's so strange. Okay, well, thanks to Jack's taste testing skills. Let me see. What do you think it is? Oh, because of the citrine, look, and because it's fluorescent, right? Jack believes that this is a potion of speed.
Oh my God! What are you telling me?
Your son is on speed.
Oh my God! Is that bad?
Well, this is why he probably is looking older than he really is.
Oh my God!
I'm so sorry. I touch your
It's-
leg,
no,
but
no,
it would be awkward.
It's because he does. It's because he doesn't have a father figure.
Oh. Oh no. Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant, Maggie?
With a fledgling.
With
Yes.
a fledgling.
There's a swan in the oven.
That's what happened there.
His father died when he was very young,
Oh,
and he hasn't had. He's
attacked by an animal.
yes, he was. He was starting to be a magic user.
Oh, it's a tough thing.
He was killed by a squirrel.
Right. Those squirrels are vicious.
Yes, and is he really? So he's not had a fight. So it's my fault that he clearly has taken to the speed. Do you have any advice? What should I do? I can't believe this. He told me first he said it was a urine sample. When I said it's phosphorescent, it's hard to say.
Right.
He said,
Well, see what the problem is? They become addicted.
"Oh God, he wants more." He told me
Want some more of this? Here you go.
told me it was his friend's.
See?
He said it wasn't his. He was his bar. He loves.
He's addicted to the speed.
He loves the speed. Look at that. Wow.
This is the problem with this stuff. It's getting everywhere.
Oh, you seem to have a strong moral base.
I do. I mean, so the problem, this is coming from the land of the ivory tower and pretentious people because they have to be up all night working on ridiculous papers and briefs for the various government officials. That's how it started. But now it's spread throughout all the provinces and everything else. It's addictive, and worse, if you don't get a hold of it, he will kill himself at a very young age, physical age. You won't recognize him if he keeps on this stuff.
What is it? So taking speed, what does it? Does it cause you?
It causes unnatural aging.
Oh my God.
It changes overnight.
So that's why he has a beard?
Yes, at 12. That's exactly right. Look at him. See, he can't help himself. He's addicted to it.
Okay, so I need to get this away from him. Should I put him into some sort of program?
Yes, you should. You should call the Speed Anonymous SA.
Okay.
Or Hasting Anonymous, and they will give him some slow spells to kind of slow him down.
Okay.
And with some counseling, he may live to 14 or something.
He also started listening to the pseudo Undead. Is that bad?
They're horrible, and they're Satan incarnate. So yes.
Oh my God.
He's gone a dark path. Do you have it? Hopefully, your new son or daughter will be better off.
What do you think his alignment is?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him, Maggie. I'm sorry. I can just tell you we've seen this before.
He's quite chaotic, I'll tell you that much. But should I sell this?
Well, you're going to need to raise some funds, and the good news is the market, because of this, it's been banned in most parts of the Grog Empire because of its, pernicious addiction qualities. So I would sell it.
Wait. So you're recommending that I sell this?
Well,
so like somebody else's kid?
Well, I wouldn't give it to kids. This is for adults, and there are times, again, like anything, there are useful benefits for it. So, for instance, if you're being chased by a squirrel,
Oh, Okay, I understand.
It's better than death,
Right.
or you get poisoned or something like that.
Like I'm in like a running race.
Right.
Like a competition.
Correct.
That's not cheating.
No.
Okay.
Well, they're all taking it. That's why you see all these old men running until they drop dead.
Okay.
So I would say I would definitely sell it and again, make sure it's a responsible adult. Don't sell it to the guy on the street who's then going to sell it to your kid again. I'm going to say it's worth probably 1,000 gold pieces. And
Wow. That's okay. Well,
that'll help you. That'll help your son get out of the trouble he's
that'll
in.
pay for the rehab.
Yes.
Okay.
And hopefully get you some dating services, or your friend some dating services.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Maybe some new dresses.
I hear there's, I mean, I don't know, but I heard like this new movie Friday the 13th just came out. I didn't know if maybe.
Oh, would you like to go?
I mean, if you're asking me, I don't really have anything else to do.
Well,
Can my son come?
yes, but you have to wear this mask because that's. And you have to let Jack hump you. Well, thanks for coming to the.
Should I get it insured?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Okay. Thank you. All right. All right. Well, thank you. I'll see you at 9.
Okay.
At the movies.
That's right. I don't have any money because the Jack's addicted to.
Well, we'll sell this.
Yes,
And then we'll go to the movies.
Oh, perfect. You're
Okay.
paying. I love it. You're my kind of date.
That was awkward.
It was awkward, but I loved it.
Okay. All right. You are correct, sir.
Wow.
That is a potion of speed.
And I could tell because he was addicted to it.
Yes. It is not worth as much as you thought. It is worth 450.
450.
That's his sale value. And you get experience points for using it, which I think is funny. I guess you get experience.
150?
200.
200.
So when you drink the potion, you get the XP or just getting it?
Well, if you the wording, if I remember correctly, in DMG is if you possess it and not sell it, you get the experience points value.
Oh, right. There's all that business.
But it does say you use it, so again, you wouldn't use it till you drank it. I always just, if you say they're going to keep it, they get the experience points. And then if they sell it later, basically the way you typically do is when they divvy up the treasure, they say, are we selling this or not? If they sell it, they have to sell it right away, and then they get the cash in XP. If they don't, then you give out the XP, and then that's it. So they later can't go, oh, now I'm going to sell it and try to get more XP. And that's not how that works.
And so, yep, you got
What page is that on?
That is, well,
450. That was, potions are usually pretty low. I think some of the potions, like healing's like 400 gold. I wasn't sure. I didn't think it would be less than healing. But
Dragon control is the best.
yeah.
So this is what it says about speed. And you did a good job, right? Because you tasted it. So as Gary says, you can take a little taste. And I assume DMs really vary based upon how much information they give you.
Sure.
Most players, I don't think I've had one where players didn't know. I always seem to give enough information.
Yeah.
They've played long enough, they can figure it out. So potion speed increases the movement and combat capabilities of the imbiber by 100%. Thus, a movement rate of 9 becomes 18, and a character normally able to attack but once per round would gain double attacks in a round. Note that this does not reduce spell casting time. However, compare haste spell. Use of a speed potion ages the individual by 1 year.
Yes. Just like a spell.
So it's obviously, so elves can be drinking these things, they're fine.
Yeah.
A half orc.
You better be very careful.
The other effects last for 5 to 20 rounds. The aging is
Permanent.
And the question is, we've had this conversation before, do you have to do a system shock?
No. Well, you're not supposed to.
Oh, you're not?
No. The only time it's supposed to be, if you want to be a jerk DM, yes. If you want to be a DM, if you don't want to get punched in the face by your players, it says magical attack.
Oh, that's right. It uses the word attack, and
I
it's clearly
remember
not an attack.
Well, it uses attack, but then it says it in a way that's still weird.
System shock states a percentage chance the character has of surviving the following forms of magical attacks, or simple application.
right.
I mean, we've been here before. Everything's new to me. Or simple application of the magic: aging, petrification, polymorph others. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I would sort of like it. I mean, okay. chance of character death seems fun when you're a DM. It's not as entertaining for the players.
Right.
I mean, your system shock is your system shock's pretty high usually.
If you have a good con.
Yeah, but so I think you die. I like the idea because I think it's basically like you die of a heart. I mean, this is like serious business.
Yeah, you're taking cocaine. You're taking liquid cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. So every time, see, so you could have warned. Well, you're not that big a DM because you could have warned how dangerous that was to my kid. He could have died of a heart attack.
Right. Well, the unnatural aging. Clearly, he's hitting the pipe a lot, hitting the bottle a lot. He's already has a beard at 6'12". So
It says simple application of the magic.
yes.
Aging. Yeah, interesting.
Well, you have to go to the DMG too.
Oh, really?
Well, there's some where it talks about unnatural aging.
Oh, okay. I kind of like.
Because the problem then is if you do that, then it talks about aging for casting spells like gate and whatever. And it says you age, but it doesn't say anything about system shock when you cast those spells.
I sometimes have PCs that are speed addicts, potion speed addicts.
Right.
They really should. I could make them like they're like 23, but they look.
Yeah.
They should be like, look like they're 70.
Right. The only ones who can deal with it are the demi-humans. Yeah. So in Lane's, in Tom's game that I play on Wednesdays, I'm an elf cleric. I'm middle-aged, but I'm 600 years old. So I have another 1,000 years. So every time Lane casts haste, I'm like, bring it on, baby.
Yeah.
Where the other one's like, ooh, I don't know. Because you only have 20. Because the big thing is it's not that you're going to die, it's you're going to get to middle age quicker.
Right.
So even as a human, once you get over 41, if I remember correctly, you lose half your strength. If
Well, you
it's
lose a point of
exceptional.
Oh, it's exception. Yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah, you lose a point of strength, point of con.
right.
You get
Just say
intelligence.
no. No more of the crack.
I thought it's interesting how you're smarter and wiser. Like, why would you unnatural aging?
Not unnatural aging. It's just your middle age.
That's interesting, but usually isn't it because you've had life experience?
Right. Well, you
You're
have life.
sick-
You're a crack addict. You've got life experience.
Yeah. Unnatural aging, page 13, DMG. Certain creatures will cause unnatural aging. In addition, various magical factors can do so. The following magic causes loss of lifespan, aging the practitioner as indicated. See also disease for other unnatural aging causes. Longevity potions and possibly other magical means will affect such aging to some extent. And then it gives a list of, and buy me a speed potion, 1 year. Note, reading one of the above spells from a scroll does not cause unnatural aging. Okay.
So the question is,
Yeah.
do you really want to screw the magic users and clerics with, not only did you cast, because then no one would cast Raise Dead, which is fine. Or not Raise Dead, Resurrection.
Oh, resurrecting ages you?
Yeah, did you just look at
Well, yeah, I didn't go down all the list of each one of the spells.
Raise Dead doesn't, but Resurrection, if I remember correctly, does.
Casting Alter Realities 3 years. Gate spell. Yeah, see, I didn't pay attention to this. Gate spell's 5 years.
Yeah, Wish is 5.
Limited Wishes 1. Restoration 2. Resurrection 3. Wish 3.
3 years.
Speed 1 year. Haste 1 year.
Yeah, so no one would cast Resurrection. Because if I had to lose 3 years and make a system shock, I'd be like, 10,000 gold, make that 1 million gold.
It's interesting. I mean, it could.
And it also doesn't say drinking a longevity potion, because why doesn't unnatural youthing cause a system shock? If your age unnaturally changes, if you're going to go by that rule,
Yeah.
anytime your age changes unnaturally, it should cause a system shock.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it is a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer if you fail it, obviously.
Yeah, because then you're dead permanently. Well, no, you're dead. That's not the resurrection score. That's system shock.
I mean, as long as your 10 con's a 70% chance. I'm sorry, system 65 on 10.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, 70 on 10 con.
Still not great.
Okay.
You can. It's certainly with the rule, but you will get pushback a lot, aka
Yeah, and the
punch in the
problem
mouth.
is it doesn't add anything really fun. And there's tension, which is fun, but that tension is no longer fun when the person fails their roll.
Right.
It's fun when they make the roll. Then it's like awesome. It's like a movie. And like, yeah, we made it. But when you don't, like Indiana Jones has died.
Right.
And that's not so much fun.
Well,
Okay.
and back to, if you tell people ahead of time, like you don't want Resurrection to be very popular. Okay, that's one way to say it, because they have to make System Shock, so no cleric's going to cast Resurrection unless you're like the king or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be very rare. But I would make it then Raise Dead too, because again, that would be, what is the reason why you're doing it? If you're just doing it to be a haha, that's kind of fun, then people don't like that.
Yeah.
So I get it. All right, I think one more thing before our interview. We're looking forward to seeing Laurel and John at about 10 o'clock our time.
Can I say, well, hold on, to beat a dead horse, I think what would be fun is, the rules number 5 for this, is if your percentage chance of making it vary based upon how much you age. I mean, if you age 5 years, I would like to give pluses for like each year below 5. You know what I mean? Like give like a plus, I don't know, 2%, 5% for each time below. That's all. You know?
Okay. That's what's great about your game. You could do that. But you're going to get a lot of pushback. People get angry.
Yes.
I tried that, I mentioned it, and players, they were super angry. So
Right.
We're ready for Have You Ever?
Okay. So this is the segment of the show where we turn to Flipping and Turning magazine.
Yep, issue 7.
Issue number 7.
Last time we did a cube, or there was some kind of cube, if I remember correctly. That's what I put down.
Wasn't it it was a gelatinous cube, right?
Gelatinous cube, that's right.
And this is where you get to play Half-Assassin,
Half-assassin.
the half-orc cleric assassin, and you get to decide what choice you will make, and we see how you fare. And you're trying to save. You're trying to
Queen
rescue Queen Mabel, and you've infiltrated the palace where she is being. Remember, she's being tortured, I believe.
She's scheduled to be tortured at the time, but now I don't know. She may be in the process of being tortured as we speak.
Exactly. And we just saw a gelatinous cube, so here we are. And we're coming. This is the penultimate.
Oh, this is the penultimate.
Not the ultimate.
Right.
Penultimate.
I thought last was penultimate, but it's good.
Nope, we are on K, I believe. You quickly find yourself in an area of the dungeon where prisoners are taken to be tortured.
Ah. This way the torture, it says.
I mean, the big arrow. Yes. Cafeteria, this way, HR.
Restrooms.
Restrooms.
HR, torture.
Torture.
Got it.
The area is lit with smoking. I'm a little upset with Queen Mabel, because if that's true, does that mean like she's tortured too?
True.
Right? So now she's being tortured by her implements. Right. Okay. The area
That's
is.
what happens. Be careful. The hand that bites that feeds you, whatever it's called.
Live by the sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Live by the sword. The area is lit with smoking torches thrust into wall sconces. There's a heavy animal smell.
Jack.
And you can hear the sound of growling and snuffling in the room at the end of the corridor. I think snuffling's like snogging. You peek inside and see a pack of fierce-looking canines guarding the door to the next room. You decide to 1.
Okay, hold on. I gotta write this down.
So you are seeing a pack of fierce-looking canines
Yes, fierce.
guarding the door. And I'm assuming this is the door to the torture. So Queen, we're being led to believe Queen Mabel
is beyond the door.
Correct. 1. Move silently and backstab a dog. Then attack with sword. 2. Read the Speak with Animal scroll and order the dog to leave the room.
Okay.
3. Drink the invisibility potion and go through the door.
Okay.
4. Cast silence 15-foot radius and attack with sword.
Yep.
5. Apply poison to your blade, then attack with sword. 6. Cast sanctuary and go through the door. 7. Throw dagger, then attack with sword.
Yep.
8. Attack with sword.
Yep.
9. Throw Molotov cocktail.
Ah, the cocktail.
The cocktail. 10. Display badge and go through the door.
Ooh, there's a couple of good ones in here. All right, folks. So there's your 1. Move silently, then backstab. Read Speak with Animals and order them to do something different. Drink invisible potion. Cast silence 15 attack. Apply poison attack. Sanctuary, go through the door. Dagger, then attack. Sword, cocktail, Molotov cocktail, display badge, and walk through, basically. All right, folks, you've got a little bit of time to tell us what you think your answers will be. So Dan, with that in mind, you go first. What is your thought on this?
I am going to choose number 6, cast Sanctuary, and go through the door.
That is a wonderful, I love Sanctuary spell.
Now, we have to remember that there's a chance of spell failure.
True.
Because we have a 9 wisdom, which means that we must roll a d20, and a 4 or lower indicates it will fail, which would be really bad news.
All right, we got a bunch of speak with animals. So again, there's also potential speak with animals. I think there is no spell failure because it's a scroll that he can cast at first level.
It is a scroll. Correct. I would agree with that. And I think, are we still wearing the outfit of...
Some people are if they acquired it.
That would really help, don't you think?
Yeah, the only one is the display badge. 6, someone's got Sanctuary as well with you. I'm going to do 10 display badge because everyone else is picking the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, those are our choices. I think we can move forward.
Give me Sanctuary, James, from the law, and I'll be all right.
That's right.
Okay.
Move silently, then backstab.
I am turning to page 42. It's fun to flip and turn in Flipping and Turning magazine. Okay.
It's all self-referencing.
Okay. So this is K. All right. Number 1. What was number 1, James?
Oh, you didn't hear the question.
Oh.
Well, you see dogs.
Canines in front of a
Canines
door.
between us. Yep. So put your answer in. Those are the 10 choices you have. There's dogs between us and what we think is Queen Mabel and where she's being portrayed.
And when you're done, if you could please put your pencil on the desk.
Right, and get a note from where you came from, why you were late. All right, number 1.
Number 1. What was number 1?
Silent, then backstab.
This does not work. The dogs attack you as a pack, doing 20 points of damage in the resulting melee. I assume that's because they had seen you.
Right.
Okay.
It's hard to backstab when they see you.
What was number 2?
Read, speak with animals.
This works. The dogs don't bother you.
Oh, very nice.
They're very nice dogs.
Apparently.
Okay.
Good job. 3, drink a potion.
This partially works.
Yeah.
The dogs smell you. You take 10 points of damage in the resulting melee.
How about cast silence 15 foot, then attack?
This partially works. The dogs smell you, 10 points of damage.
Apply poison, then attack.
This partially works. Take 5 points of damage.
Oh, wow. You slaughter them with the poison. Sanctuary, then go through the door.
This works. The dogs don't bother you.
Now, remember, Sanctuary, they have to get a saving throw. Now, they don't get a great saving throw, so it would be surprising, typically, to get through a pack of dogs without any of them not making a save.
And Sanctuary is where they won't attack you, right?
They will not attack you if they fail their saving throw.
And you have to cast it before melee?
No, you can cast it anytime.
So it's not like Blast Sword.
You can cast it, but the problem is if one of them does attack you, you can't attack them back.
Oh, it's like an ability, it breaks it?
Yeah, you break the Sanctuary.
Right, okay. So you're like standing there.
Right, well, you can keep walking by, but the problem,
Right.
So again, that's the thing.
Okay. Right, what was number 7?
Okay, 7 is dagger, then attack.
This partially works. 5 points of damage in the melee.
Sword, number 8.
This partially works. The dogs... Wait, what was number 8?
Sword.
It says K3. The dogs smell you.
I don't know, maybe there's something else.
Okay.
9 is Molotov cocktail.
This works. You kill the dogs without taking any damage. Wow.
Wow.
That was a smelly mess, probably.
Bloody, poor Jack, don't listen, Jack.
Yeah.
10, display badge and walk through.
This works.
That's what I did. See, thank you.
Wow, you did it. All right.
So,
Hold on. You got to roll at home. If you did Sanctuary, you got to roll for your spell failure.
Oh, that's true. Very
He reminded us. He's getting tired of us not rolling for it. 20. Yes.
Yes, you made it. You made it, but did everyone else make it?
Oh, we're playing the honor system.
That's true.
Did anyone else out there not make it? No, they all made it.
Perfect. Dice don't lie. You were going to mention, you said during the other segment, now I'm going to have to splice this together, about you were going to say, oh, I'm doing this whole thing with citrine and this and that. You were going to mention it, but you forgot to mention it.
I did. So in the DMG, there is, there's all these charts.
Right, which makes it awesome.
It really does make it awesome because even if you're not really rolling it, it just gives you a lot of ideas. And it was very nice. Gary gave after potions, Gary gave a chart, right, where you could identify all the different characteristics of the potion, which now, of course, I can't find. It was there. But yeah, so you could roll for its transparency, for its consistency, all of that stuff. And that's what I did. I rolled. So I think that's kind of nice because...
That was nice. It gave a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah, literally. So...
You're welcome.
Right. So it's nice because I think every time people find potions, it's an appendix, and it's a late appendix, isn't it? I don't even know why.
You said it was K?
Yeah, I don't even know why it was there. Oh, because I knew it was there. Yeah, so it is, it's in Dungeon H-I, hang on, I'm getting there, K. Describing Magical Substances, Appendix K, page 221. Some dungeon masters have difficulty describing the contents of potion bottles, magical elixirs, and like liquid substances. The list below give the appearances of liquids, colors, tastes, and smells. In combination with dungeon dressing or by itself, these various descriptive words will serve the DM in good stead when preparing level keys or, quote, winging it. So we have appearance and consistency. Oh, I see. So, no, okay. No, so appearance and consistency has bubbling, cloudy, effervescent, fuming, oily, smoky. Oh, I see. I think the transparency, are these connected or not connected? Because smoky it looks like these are connected, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's weird. You think that you'd roll randomly on each one?
Yeah.
Because you have bubbling, cloudy, effervescent, fuming, oily, smoky, syrupy, vaporous, viscous, and watery. And then you have all these different transparencies, and you have taste. They have buttery.
Oh, I like buttery. Jack likes buttery too.
It could have been like movie theater oil. Or the yellow, it could have been like, that'd be funny. So
it's like movie popcorn.
The thing is, though, and there's all these different colors. Apricot color. Aren't players, if you do this, don't you think players are going to think that if it's apricot flavored, it has something to do with the type of potion?
Yeah.
And that's what I'd be concerned.
Well, and it says none of them they're completely random. Though I've seen DMs say, oh, you find a red, purple, a red, smelly, bad thing. Oh, it's a potion of healing. Because once they taste it, they want to know it's a potion of healing. But as we've talked about, if you want to be back to the jerk DM, not all potions use the same formulas.
Right.
And then, again, you want to be back to the jerk DM, make 2 potions of healing from 2 different manufacturers, and then it would be miscability that they would have to do that.
That's your position on that. Correct.
Yes.
I mean, that's debatable, right? That's debatable.
Well, it's debatable, just like the accelerated aging causes a system shock.
I like that. Well, because you have different vaccines.
Right.
Yeah, the Johnson & Johnson.
Pfizer and this and that. If you combine them, it could be good. It could be a breakthrough or a discovery, or it could kill you.
So you could, I could have an apricot.
But I'm saying, if you really want to make them angry, that's what you do. They're like, oh, I'm really hurt. I'm going to take 2 magical potions. Or are they from the same? Are they the same? Because if they're not, then you have to roll the miscability.
Or they find 2 that are just half each.
Right.
And they find them together.
Yeah, then you're making the hunch punch again. Like
I put it together and so.
Boom.
Right. Peppery, lemony.
But yes, this is a total troll job. It's not supposed to give you any indication of what you're drinking.
Correct. It's fun nonetheless.
Right.
Because people want to know.
It's like the gems and the jewelry. Really, they only care how much it's worth. But you have tables where you can figure out that, oh, it's a pearl, blah, 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 blah. Okay, how much is it worth? 700 gold. But I don't care. But no, it's a pearl of this size and blah, 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 blah.
But no one ever talks about it. So you might find a potion, and it's like thick and like honey colored.
Right.
And just hard to take down. Like it could be a crazy sweet.
You do that. You put it in your thing.
Yeah, and especially like,
No one cares.
No, that's the problem. No one cares. The DM likes it, and the players are like, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's one player out there who cares, but most of them don't care. Is it a potion of healing? That's what I care about.
Well, I understand that.
That's right. Well, hopefully our dear friends will be on in a couple of minutes. So we're going to take a quick maybe a long intermission when we get folks on here. So stay tuned. We're going to hopefully have Laurel and John on in about 5 or 10 minutes. So we'll see you after the intermission.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position. You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created. Your skin grows cold from your first glimpse of the enormous beast. It's a product of your imagination. Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt. Victory is yours.
Win the treasure.
TSR Hobbies, Dungeons and Dragons games. Products of your imagination.
Challenge your imagination to come alive and to battle with the creatures of Dungeons and Dragons. Grapple against the forces of evil as a Marvel Comics superhero. Hunt adventure and glory as Indiana Jones. The all-new role-playing games of TSR and Dungeons and Dragons. Unleash the power of your imagination.
You are the player, and the arcade is the arena. You focus your mind and propel yourself into a universe where you're the master of your destiny for as long as you can keep the trip going. This is the arcade experience. We're ColecoVision. We bring the arcade experience home with games like Donkey Kong with multiple screens, arcade controls, and arcade graphics that let you have the arcade experience at home because your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
For nearly 3,000 years, man has searched for the lost Ark of the Covenant.
The Bible speaks of the Ark leveling mountains and laying waste to entire regions. Not something to be taken lightly. No one knows its secrets.
Jones, do you realize what the Ark is? It's a transmitter. It's a radio for speaking to God.
An army which carries the Ark before it is invincible.
The Ark, if it is their Eternis, then it is something that man was not meant to disturb.
It is protected by forces beyond imagination. It is desired above all treasures on earth by those who are good, trust me, and those who are evil.
I'll tell you everything.
Yes, I know you will.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Let her go.
We have no time. If you still want the Ark, it has been loaded onto a truck for Cairo.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. A film from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
Open the world of advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures. Strongheart, Bronze Dragon, Morduk, Nightmare. Discover a world of mystery and magic.
Stand back, Strongheart. You shall never have this treasure.
Evil is no match for good until he needs it again.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures from LJN. Pure magic.
In the eerie world of deep, dark dungeons, mystery and magic seem real. There's good against evil with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures. War Duke, Kellic, Strongheart, and Bronze Dragon, each sold separately.
Beware, Strongheart. We will cast an evil spell and steal the treasure. Well, evil is no match for good. The treasure is safe.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures, Kellic, War Duke, Bronze Dragon, Strongheart, each sold separately from LJN.
Now, Bobby.
All right, we are back. And we have two new little figures that we are talking to right now. So, Dan, why don't you introduce our guests?
We are thrilled to have on the show today Laurel Nicholson and John Keefe. They were freelance writers for Mayfair Games, the Rolaids line. They did Deadly Power, Elven Banner, Undead, and they also did Monsters of Myth and Legend 2. And so we're thrilled to have them on the show to talk about what they were doing, what, about 4 years ago?
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus. So welcome to the show, guys.
Hello. Good morning.
So what I wanted to ask you about, and I love, the reason why we're thrilled to have you on the show, because I love Undead. So you guys wrote Undead, a supplement for D&D, published with the Mayfair Games, the Rolaids line, and I think it's great. And we're, of course, going to want to talk a lot about that. But my first question is, how did you guys meet? So how did the combo come about?
Well, we moved right next to John. So we ended up being next door neighbors.
And who's we? Sorry.
Oh, my husband and I and our kids. We had 3 kids. So we were a little bit younger back then. It was about 40 years ago. And so we all moved in the heart of winter, and we didn't really see anybody till spring. But then we had players on both sides of our house. So it was lots of fun.
Wait, where were you that no one was coming out until, was this Alaska?
Illinois. Elmhurst, outside of Chicago.
Okay.
We were in Des Plaines just a few days ago.
That's right. Was it for a convention?
No, it was
we're
at the Shermer High School.
Oh, the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast
was based
Club.
out of Shermer, out of Des Plaines.
Shermer in Des Plaines, Illinois.
So John, had you been playing? So when Laurel moves next to you and then emerges at some point,
like the caterpillar, like cicadas every 17 years.
I moved out the next year.
Oh, is that true?
Oh yeah, I was living with my parents, and they moved to next to my parents' house. And then I moved out the next year to Bensonville, Illinois. But I don't know that I even knew about Dungeons and Dragons until maybe 1979 or 80.
In 79.
I read an article in the Chicago.
So probably maybe 79, 80, you were playing.
So
maybe.
It was around that time.
So what year did you, this sounds like a deposition. What year, we're trying to secure an indictment. We believe you have confidential AD&D material still in your house.
I do.
What year? So Laurel, what year roughly did you move next to John?
79.
79. So you were married and had kids when you moved next to John was living with his parents. Do I have this right?
Right.
Oh, okay. So
correct.
Had
I
you
don't
played
know.
D&D?
I think I was working back then too.
Wow,
So-
she's busy.
Yeah. Had you played
And
D&D?
so, but then when the springtime came, we all got together. And I think it was the following year that somebody said, do you want to play this game we're playing? It's called Dungeons and Dragons. And we said, sure. If you'll notice, the very first one that we wrote, Deadly Power, it is also written by my husband who helped too. So it's got Donald Dickelson on there too.
Okay.
So we were all playing.
Okay, so you said you had kids you said you had kids, right?
Yes.
So usually the way this works is the kids will play. So this is somewhat unusual, isn't it? So, or is it not?
They were little. They were very little.
And so what was it? So most of the time, people who, if you got kids, you're kind of you're not the typical, hey, let's start playing D&D. Though I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. What was it? Who introduced you to the game, and what attracted you to the game?
I think it was probably John or somebody in John's family. Or it could have been.
It was probably me, but it might have been because maybe my father mentioned that we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and
they said, so you came over to our house and we ended up playing and we loved it. We just loved it. And we would play. I remember sometimes we'd start at like 7 or 8 at night and we would play till 3 in the morning. We had, and then get up and go to work in the morning. I don't know how we did it, but we didn't seem like such a problem back then.
And John, how old were you at this point?
In 79, I would have been 25. About 25, depending on what time of year it was.
And who was the dungeon master?
I would have been the dungeon master at the start, and then later on, Don and I kind of switched off as dungeon masters. Don Morrison.
And Laurel, do you remember your first character?
Oh, I think I played with the same character. It was a magic user.
Of course.
Ah, the magic user, of course.
An elf magic user?
No, I think she might have been half elfin.
Now this is strange. Okay, you played a magic user, and your character didn't die in the first adventure. I don't understand. Were you not, John? Did you not understand you're supposed to kill? You were clearly. John didn't know how to play.
That's right.
Yeah. So
if I would have killed her, there never would have been any.
That's right. We would not be having this interview. That's right. I'm glad.
Well, what we found is everyone sells their first character, they remember it, and died very quickly, and they loved it after that. That's kind of been the history. So
I didn't try to kill people that much. I don't think I ever killed anybody.
So,
I'm not sure.
There is a sore point
killed me once.
that I did accidentally, with I think it was a fireball, kill John's character.
Oh.
That he's never quite gotten over.
It was intentional. And she visited last July, and I had the character sheet, and now it's gone. I can't find it anywhere, so I think she's absconded with it.
Did you stamp confidential on it?
No. Mar-a-Lago.
Did you declassify it?
I did play a gnome. This is not this character that she stole and killed, but I played a gnome illusionist thief, and I was looking at the character, and it said that his patron or mentor was Tear-Spoiled Trump, and why would I put that down in the 80s or whatever it was? And he was from the College of something. Illusionary manipulations or something.
This is my kind of guy. Right. This is perfect.
This is perfect.
So why? So what? So but then you. But so you. So is it fair to say were you both hooked on the game from the get-go?
Yeah. And then
Oh,
we
yes.
were at what convention was it?
Chicago War Gamers Association.
And we were playing there with a friend of ours, Dan Tallman. And it was a game that somebody had started but hadn't been published. They were testing it at the convention. And it had robots in it. And all the little robots were attacking Dan. And somehow he turned all the robots against the town and just like destroyed everything. And the author was standing there with his hands on his head, kind of yelling, "It's not supposed to happen like this. This isn't supposed to happen." And so we were just, of course, thought it was the funniest thing that ever happened. But then I turned to John and I said, "I can write this stuff. We can write this stuff easily." So that's when we did.
I said, no, we can't, because I'd never written anything in my life.
You're in your 20s. You're a mother, wife. And you're working. What kind of job were you doing, Laurel? At the time?
I'm a writer.
Okay, so yeah, so you have the background. It wasn't just, hey,
I've been a writer my whole life, so
I gotcha.
I thought, oh, this would be easy. This would be fun.
Now you guys
let's do it.
And you stayed in, John, you said you moved. So you said you didn't move too far away. So you guys obviously stayed in contact. Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I moved 5 miles away or something like that. And we stayed in contact and we started writing the module, even though I didn't think it would go anywhere. And it actually did after TSR turned us down. Kind of slapped us in the face and turned us down.
And the Chicago War Gamer, now Gary Gygax was involved, if I can recall correctly, isn't that the one that Gary Gygax was involved in that? I don't know, was he like floating around? Like, did you see any big names at the Chicago War Gamers convention?
Not that I recognized, but I probably didn't know what anybody looked like at that time anyway,
And
other than maybe Gary
he had floated
Gygax.
away from them. I mean, we're talking like what, 1979, 1980? Yeah. So he's maybe not doing much.
I think the convention was 1981 because I have the 1982 itinerary. And we didn't go to that one, so it's probably 1981.
So why you chose that one? I would have thought you would have tried to get to Gen Con.
No.
Okay.
Gen Con was too far away. No, Milwaukee or wherever it was, or sometimes Parkside, but I don't know when we went to Gen Con in Milwaukee, like in the late '80s or something like that. But we didn't play anything. We just had our kids with us and walked around.
So the collaboration then on the first one, that's what's going to become Deadly Power, right? Which is going to end up being published by Mayfair, part of the Rolaids line. You said you were turned down. You sent it into TSR, and they turned you down.
They said that it sounded like what was that? A parody.
Oh,
a parody.
When it actually was. We kind of did it as a parody of Chicago politics. So we said, oh, well, they got that at least. So they weren't interested in it. We thought it was kind of funny at times. So we brought it to Rolaids, and they liked it.
And how did you know about Rolaids? So for a lot of us back in the day, we knew TSR. If we had sent something in and TSR had turned us down, we'd be like, that's it. Nowhere else to go. I only discovered Rolaids after I got back into the game. So were you guys familiar with the Rolaids line?
I used to buy a lot of non-TSR publications, so I knew about them. And when we were played in that convention, I told Lori that I said, this guy had published modules for Rolaids, and she said, well, I can write better than that or something like that. And that's why we went to Rolaids afterwards. And they kind of said, we like this, but we'd like to change it a little bit. And so they worked with us, and turned out that I thought it turned out pretty good, other than minor things about maps and leaving things out.
We have a review, James.
Oh, I love the reviews.
And what would have been great is we could have gotten that guy who wrote that one
review.
No, the guy who they didn't like his game so well.
Oh,
And they're
right.
like, we can do it better. It'd be great if we could have had him on the show. Okay.
Yeah.
So Space Gamer number 72. So this is a little long, but this is a good review. I really like this. I'm not familiar with Deadly Power. After reading this, it sounds like the kind of adventure that I would like. So this is Rick Swan. Rick Swan.
Right. We just had a Swan on.
Space Gamer number 72. He says, although the quest for the seeds, so this is 1984, Deadly Power, the first. So it's when I listened to your interview on Goal for Initiative for about 10 years ago, I got in my head that this adventure actually was about Chicago politics. Like, I left that interview thinking it was like a gangbusters type of game, like Al Capone.
Well, yeah, the Untouchables.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner's in there, and,
Right.
and Sean Connery. Yeah.
Right, but no, this is it's D&D.
Down.
Here it. Although the quest for the seeds, because you're seeking some seeds, is the heart of Deadly Power, it's the sorting out of these allegations that gives it a special flavor and depth. Like the other modules in the Roll-Aid series, it's a quality effort, both in execution and premise. The quest for the seeds requires 4 separate steps to complete, and even though each step is fairly involved, smooth play is ensured by thorough descriptions and instructions from the GM. The uncertainty of exactly who's on your side and who isn't adds a nice edge to the proceedings, with a lot of action and hair-raising encounters, including a trip through hell. It's unlikely that even the most jaded of role players will lose interest in Deadly Powers. So that's a very good review. So it sounds like a very interesting adventure. A lot of who's on my side, who's not, a lot of intrigue. So do you remember that review coming out, and were you pleased?
We were very happy we got a lot of positive reviews, and we were very excited.
Yeah, I still got the Space Gamer issue here. I keep all the reviews. There's a review of it in Age of Dusk. That's pretty funny about it. It's a much longer review and a lot of swearing in it. but it's a really good review. He gave it 8 out of 10. If you're interested, you should look at that.
And so after that, so then 1985, so you're brought back. So was Mayfair then encouraging you to submit more things? So because once Deadly Power was successful, were they coming back to you and wanting more stuff?
Probably. I think they were, John, or we were talking to, was it Corey Glaberson back then?
You talked to everybody at Mayfair. I never had any interaction with them. Corey Glaberson was involved with Undead a lot, I think. And I think Bromley might have been the editor of Deadly Power. But I'm not really positive. But you had the idea for Elven Banner, and I think you brought it to them, and they said go ahead and do it, or something like that.
Elven Banner was an idea we got, was actually a true story from when we were in Scotland, in the Isle of Skye, and we were at this Dunvegan, the Nicholson Castle. And the story is that the laird was married to a fairy queen. And when she was about to give birth, she left him, but she left him this fairy flag that could be unfurled 3 times in battle. And they still have the fairy flag hanging in the castle. So I kind of just took that story and redid it for Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, so here's the problem. Do you find when you go on vacation that you spend much of your time simply thinking about how you could use this to make a D&D adventure?
I
guess it depends on where you're going.
Like when you're,
It doesn't necessarily mean D&D, or if I'm writing anything that how I could use this, or if it would be fun to write a story about something like that.
Yeah, fantastic.
So just before we go on,
yeah.
So how long did it take from the time you all said you were at the convention or the War Gamers thing to when it got published? How long did that take?
I think we started in the fall of '82, and the primary for the mayoral race in Chicago was in the spring of '83, and it came out, I think in the summer of '83 we were rejected by TSR.
And look where they are now, right?
So we redid it. Right, yeah. And so we redid it, and it in the fall of '83 for Mayfair, and I think it came out in '84.
So a little over a year from you had to write it, pitch it, then go to another place, edit it. What lessons did you learn from that experience? Had you ever published anything, Laurel, in your writing career at that point, or had you had other things published? Did that experience help? Or I'm just curious. Again, Dan and I have published things, but that's now in 20. I couldn't imagine in the '80s publishing something. So, what was the steps you took, and what lessons did you learn from this?
It's probably easier back then because you could just approach people directly and say, we have an idea, we want you to read it, and they would read it and either reject you so you could move on to the next person. And Mayfair we were pretty happy with Mayfair.
And what lessons did you learn from the first time, when you did Deadly Powers to the next collaboration?
To stay with Mayfair. Basically, I don't know if it ever got easier. Part of the fun things about writing the Dungeons and Dragons was that you get to create worlds and you get to have outcomes that maybe aren't as easy in life. So if you want to have a good outcome, you can lead the characters that way. And you can make worlds and do all kinds of creative things. John also is a very, very creative person. So coming up with worlds, I think you came up with the Caldera, which was a great idea. So I think it was just, I don't know if we learned much. I think we learned more style and what they're looking for and how to approach them maybe a little better after the first project.
Did you go down to the local gaming store to see if they had a copy of Deadly Power, and to get a kick out of seeing your product? Like, I've always been tempted to take something we write and just stick it in like a bookstore.
Well, we're hoping that Lloyd, who owns now the friendly local gaming store in Orlando, aka Sci-Fi City, for a while, he's going to have an end cap of locally produced content, and he said our stuff could potentially go up there, potentially.
And vegetables.
And vegetables. That's correct.
So did you go down and see your product sitting there next to the TSR stuff?
Our friend Dan and I used to go to the local gaming store practically every Sunday, and we in the fall we'd go and we'd rifle through it. They had boxes on the floor, or it wasn't neatly arranged or anything like that, and I'd look through it and try and find our things or other things that weren't TSR. Then we go over to Bishop's Chili, and we watch the Bears and eat chili all the rest of the afternoon after that. Just about every weekend during the football season.
That does sound hot dog heaven and go get some chili.
It sounds great.
Okay.
And what kind of, just out of curiosity, what kind of non-TSR things did you like, if you remember?
Well, there were a lot of Mayfair products. Remember Moorguard by I can't remember, Jeffrey Dillow. I thought was pretty good, and anything by Janelle Jaques. I kept even the Dragon Quest. I ran I forget, it was something about a forest, the Enchanted Forest once, which was I changed it to D&D, and some Judges Guilds, a lot of Judges Guilds were pretty thin, I guess. They were not very good, but they also had a lot of good products.
And so that brings us to 1986. So Undead, which I think, is it fair to say that this is is what you're most famous for, right? Would be Undead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
I would say
when
so.
we got back into the game, because we took about 30 years off, and we didn't know each other.
No.
And when I got
We still
back,
don't know each other.
We still don't know. When I got back into the game, when we both did, we started discovering.
Was he one of your clients? Or
Yes.
Is that how you got together?
We asked you not to talk about that.
Yeah, that's...
No, James wasn't a client of mine. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so the history of that is, we stopped playing in the late 80s, early 90s or something like that, plus or minus a few years.
Again, not knowing each other.
Right, not knowing each other.
Yeah.
I lived in New York. I grew up there, moved down here, raised a family, moved over to Orlando, and my kids, as they got older, I started playing D&D with them. I said, and the newer editions came out. I really didn't know them. So I said, hey, I wonder if anyone's playing first edition. So serendipity, I looked online, first edition Central Florida, and there was this AD&D Central Florida Grognards Guild meetup that just started about a month before that in 2017. And Dan and his best friend Ed had started the thing because they were going to GaryCon pretty much the last 2 or 3 years, and like, boy, it's a real hassle. The only time we play is that once a year. Let's create a local thing. I went there and I started playing with them, and then serendipity, we just said, hey, why don't we create a con, and that's how we started. So it's been a little over 5 years now. That's how we started.
Yeah, and one of the great things is that now with the internet and eBay, you're able to find things that you didn't even know existed, and that is things, for example, like the Rolaids line, or like the Judges Guild stuff, which John, you were ahead of the game because you were finding that stuff back then. But for people like James and I, we only knew the TSR stuff, and so
I got Lich Lords much later. I found it at another store, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, because I was looking for a high level adventure. It was there wasn't, besides the TSR ones, there was a handful, and they'd all been played. And then all of a sudden, I saw Lich Lord. So I did have, that was the only Rolaids one that I had. Because it was the only one there.
Right.
I would have got other ones, but there was the only one there.
And this is, so you guys wrote something called Undead. So, and just for people who aren't familiar with this, it strikes me, it has an adventure, but it's a setting, really, right? It's a sandbox. You could use it as a sandbox setting. So you're not just getting a single adventure, but maybe you could talk about Undead, how you guys decided to write it, because as I mentioned, this seems to be what you're most famous for. When I started looking for adventures that you might not know about, or you didn't know about back in the day, that were done not by TSR, but by other companies, the ones that kept coming up were like the Janelle Jakeways would come up a lot, and Undead came up a lot. And so I grabbed it, and I think it's fantastic. So maybe you guys could talk a little bit about how this came about.
Well, I don't know if it came about because they wanted that. Who was it that was coming out with the new dragon, John? The ice dragon?
Oh, no, that was something later on. Grenadier wanted us to make a couple of monsters from their line of products. But originally, you called me and said that Mayfair wanted you to do Undead. I had quit during Elven Banner, or during the middle of it, and so they contacted Laurel and said, will you do an Undead? And she called me later and said, this is supposed to be 100 pages, and I don't know if I can do this all by myself. Will you help me? And so I said, oh, okay, I'll do it. I had a lot less going on at that time. Back when Elven Banner was being done, I was playing softball 2 nights a week and every weekend, and golf on one night, and basketball on another night. And I just didn't have any time to finish it, so I quit on that one.
And then, but you came back. You came back for Undead.
Pulled you back in.
Pulled you back in. So could you? So what were you? You asked for 100 pages. So what were you told it should be like? That's a lot of pages.
I think they wanted a lot of new characters. They wanted the whole new milieu, and they wanted an adventure. Pretty much what we delivered.
You said John came up with the basic idea of what the Caldera.
Caldera.
The location I would have come up with. Laurie had the backstory of the brooding dragon, and then from there we went on and tried to flesh out. We sent them a what do you call it? A summary of what we were going to do. And actually, there were a couple of summaries because I've got some of the old stuff, and one summary said we're going to do this and have 4 adventures, and the next summary said we're going to do other things and have 2 adventures. And it turned out that we did 1 adventure. They published 1 adventure. We did 2 adventures, and they didn't put the 1 in. And I think one thing that was left out by us that they may have wanted was the undead, how their armies would work, because that part of it we didn't write. The skeletons, and you can see in the module the pictures of how the undead army works. And we didn't write that. So I'm assuming Corey Glaberson did, but it could have been
I thought you had a part in that.
Darwin Bromley.
I thought you did part of that.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I got mad about it.
Oh, you got mad?
or at least the ending I didn't. They took away my ending of the adventure and put some of that in instead, which is fine because people really like it.
What was the ending? So that was taken out.
Originally, I had, after you got all the treasure, you'd come out of I think it was a hoodoo, and you'd run into like 500 dwarves or 250 dwarves that were all charmed, being led by some whites or moon scourges. And so it looked pretty grim, but if you had the sword of
Griswold,
yeah. If you had the sword of Griswold and you started to use it, it would break the charm on the dwarves, and they would turn to your side and start helping out and attacking the moon scourges and whites or whatever they were to help you
Sounds like
get through the mess.
We need to republish the Undead under Smoldering Dung Games, get the rights to it, and they can put the extended writer's cut there.
Yes, the extended edition.
Right. You could have an option.
Do you want the published ending?
Then we could have the other adventure in there too.
Right.
Yeah.
See?
We don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Our people.
We don't have the other. The adventure, I only have half of it, and I don't think Laurel has.
No one knows that, John.
You can finish it.
Yeah, you guys can finish it. Absolutely. We'll put it on. We'll put it on. So our friend who publishes our fanzine, we have our fanzine, Flipping and Turning, various. It's not even a fanzine anymore. What is this now? What do we call this? I mean, magazine?
Quality literature.
Quality literature. Yes. We're up to issue. We're going to be up to issue 9 when our convention happens. He has produced our version of shameless plug, right at this time. He's produced our version of the Grog Empire, which looks nothing like Greyhawk. It looks nothing like the Greyhawk folio.
No, it doesn't.
So we had one of our patrons' sons create a map for us. He was 10 and he put that together, and now we have our official map. So we have a publishing company that we can get a hold of. So Mayfair, who cares about them?
Well, we're the new Mayfair,
That's
baby.
right. That's right. Exactly.
When I wasn't going to mention this, but this seems like a good time. I wasn't going to mention it now, but this seems like a good time.
Right.
Because, they've created, as you know, an entire undead milieu.
Right. This is the world of GROGTALK. Our patrons have established kingdoms throughout the things, if you can see it. We will send you a copy of this so you can memorize it for the next time you're on, so you know all the places.
And there are a couple of places that we added on here that were not places taken by patrons. We just thought people would want them later. And I'm just going to point out that up here, one that's not taken is called the Duchy of Death.
The Duchy of Death.
And up here in the northwest is the Prelacy of the Bone Priests. And we've got a place for the Dark Druid, but I'm thinking Duchy of Death.
The Duchy of Death.
I'm just thinking
the Duke of Death. Then.
That maybe it's time for a reunion. Get the band back together.
A 300-page opus, the magnum work that you all could work
for
on.
Duchy of Death.
For the Duchy of Death.
So think about it.
Just think about it. You don't have to commit now.
Okay.
I already contacted the Wizards of the Coast about getting the rights back, and they said they weren't interested in selling the rights or using it.
So Wizards got Mayfair at some point?
But that was like 7 years ago, so maybe it's changed.
They're not interested in selling. We just want this to be buried.
we prefer to hoard it. Oh, so at some point Mayfair got acquired by somebody who got acquired by Wizards of the Coast. Does that happen?
I called Mayfair, and Mayfair is still in existence. I don't know if someone else owns them, but they said that they're still with the board games like Catan, but they sold all the roll aids line to Wizards of the Coast. And so I had to contact Wizards of the Coast, and trying to get through to them took a few months to get them to realize I wanted to buy the rights back. And finally, I got somebody, and they said no.
So the good news is you can do fan fiction, obviously, of this as as an homage to it, because based on our sales of our stuff, you would be no threat to Wizards of the Coast. They would not be worried about any. No one would mistake what we do as Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a parody.
It's literally a parody.
So here's one of the things I absolutely love about this. I love the tone of the Undead. It strikes me, nothing personal, it strikes me as mildly disturbing at times, but I like that. So number one, I love the Lich Lord Council. Right? So you have this Lich Lord Council, and what's great about the Lich Lord Council is, number one, the fact that there is like a council.
Right.
It sounds so like organized, and what's great about it is
they are high-level magic users and clerics, so I mean they would have a council.
And they're like interesting people. I mean, disturbing, but interesting.
They're undead.
They have personalities, though. So they're not just simply...
More than living people.
Yes, without question. They're not just... So can you talk a little bit about creating the Lich Lord Council? Because they have such flavor. They're not simply just a photocopy of, a monster manual entry.
I'm trying to remember how we came up with that, John. What do you remember?
Most of that was your idea. That's one thing we wrote together, but Laurel is much better at writing the character ideas, and I would give the stats for them and things like that. So she came up with that. I don't know. I don't know. No, what made her come up with a council and all that.
So here's
I'm looking for.
Her IT person is interrupting.
That's okay.
It's a raid.
It's a raid. Wizards of the Coast have come.
They get the Mayfair stuff. That's classified.
They got it. Come get them.
We're gonna bury it. They're gonna flush it down the toilet.
Yes. You like characters that maybe started off one way, but that were somehow turned or were forced into different personalities, and maybe go along with it or become, you believe things that aren't really real, and then you start following people. We've seen that today, but that's what happened to the Lich Lord Council too.
So I'll give you an example. This is Kamal. My eyes are getting bad. This is just the first paragraph, just to give you an idea of the background. In life, Kamal was short, about 5'5". Hey. And stout.
Hey.
And was fair-skinned with reddish hair.
Oh, no.
He remained an outcast for most of his miserable lifetime. The townfolk laughed at his obesity, despite his reputation for being an evil sorcerer with a vengeful disposition.
He could be the wizard in the market.
He could be. So that gives you an idea of some of the flavor that they have.
And you would wonder why they would turn and try to murder everyone when the townsfolk were, while they were alive, belittling them.
See, that's the beauty of this. It actually gets you rooted for the Lich Lords.
Right.
So I love the. Okay, so where's the spells? The spells are amazing. Okay, all right. The spells. Ready for this, James?
Okay, yeah, you're gonna quiz me?
Oh no, I'm just going to tell you about it. It's the first spell, Decompose. Successfully casting a Decompose spell will cause the victim to start itching for 1 round. During the next round, the victim's skin will break into open sores, oozing pus for 1d4 of damage. The third round, the skin will actively decompose and begin to fall from the body in chunks, causing more damage.
Sounds like monkeypox. Hopefully it's not.
That's a good spell. Who's responsible for Decompose?
What level?
I like it.
7th.
The death horn is kind of similar to that. That was your flesh starts falling off your body on that one too.
Yeah.
That was like based on a song or called Requiem by
King Crimson.
King Crimson, and it starts off slowly, almost melodious. By the end, your face is literally falling off because it gets so discordant.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming, John, you're responsible for torture. Is that fair to say? By using this spell,
possibly,
the caster can physically cause wounds of torture. Shroud. I like Shroud. It envelops the caster, and so you're invisible in certain areas. Hold on, but we've got some. This is the best one. Entomb. When an entomb spell is cast, 1 humanoid will be buried alive. I don't know why I'm laughing. At the location he or she occupies, you'll be gripped by an unseen force and dragged underneath the ground. So that
And you become a vampire then.
And then you can become a vampire.
Right.
So what I like about it, so these were great spells. I mean, I've seen a lot of new spells, but boy, the flavor.
There's no mending.
This is not your father's mending or push spell.
It's not a push spell
at all. So I also love I think you may have had the first. I don't know what official means, but published stats for an undead dragon. I mean, you've got an undead dragon in here. To your knowledge, were you the first to publish stats for that?
I think we were.
It's possible.
Because that's when they asked us to come up with really the stats for it, for what they were that they were going to create this dragon, a physical dragon to sell, and they wanted the stats for it, and they asked us to come up with it. Well, they asked Mayfair, I guess, and Mayfair asked us to come up with it.
Yeah, Laurie had gone to Mayfair for a meeting or something, and she came back with the Grenadier Death Dragon, a Grenadier War Mammoth, and I think the DC Heroes box set of characters and the game. And she said that Grenadier or Mayfair wanted us to make the Death Dragon and War Mammoth for the module, and they must have had some kind of deal. But Grenadier also had their own stats for Death Dragon and War Mammoth, and it came out in the same year. I don't know if the deal fell through with Mayfair, if there was a deal, or if they didn't like what they had. They had.
I would have loved that in a lunchbox, the Death Dragon.
Yes.
If I would have went to school with the Death Dragon.
Maybe it's a line of lunchboxes.
Lunchbox. Oh, look at that. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, this has got the Grenadier monster manuscripts, and it's got even the chariot of the undead and the War Mammoth and the Death Dragon in here too. So I don't know.
Yeah, we need to.
Which came first, but they wanted us to do it.
John has a plethora of stuff. Perhaps we need to make a visit to him.
Indeed, yes. Yes, give us our address, address after the show.
Yeah, after the show. You don't have to publish here. We want to make sure we get first dibs on stuff. It's a friendly visit. Don't worry about it.
You might. When did you ever buy any stuff on eBay in the mid-teens of the 21st century?
I did. Huh?
I sold I sold thousands of dollars worth of modules and miniatures back then. So you could own some if you had bought.
I was a little bit later to the show than that. But so, and it's yes, and it has the war mammoth, which is very cool because you have a skeletal, right, mammoth that I assume the undead can ride into battle. It's all very epic, which I like. You know, we talked. You guys were asking me about what I like. You know, I like Dan Collerton's Rising of the Dark from Real, because it's very epic. You know, Dan Collerton said, he was on our show, he said D&D should be epic, and this strikes me as epic, or it gives you the ability to do things that are epic. So I got a review. It's a little long, but it's a good one. So in Dragon Magazine, this is interesting now. You're in Dragon Magazine. You're getting reviewed in Dragon Magazine. Did any part of you go, that's right, we're now getting reviewed? Did you have any TSR, you know, bitterness left in you?
I don't think so. I mean, it would have been nice for TSR to have appreciated what we did.
She's so nice.
She's nice.
She is nice. All right.
I didn't buy a lot of their stuff because of it originally, but I was always hoping after Undead came out that someone would see it and say, "Hey, do you want to write something for TSR?" And I would have said yes right away.
And it obviously never happened, which is a little surprising because obviously the stuff you're putting out was very high quality. It was getting good reviews, and it obviously didn't happen. So
well, and that, you know, it's interesting with the dragons because obviously Dragonlance is getting pretty popular at that point in 85, 86. It's all Dragonlance. They switched to the and the gaming itself changed because before that, you know, and again, I'm not a huge. I mean, I love Tracy Hickman's stuff from Pharaoh and that. Dragonlance was the first adventure. I'm like, I mean, I know why people like it, but I'm not a fan.
And were you
because it's literally you go here and then you go here. It's like you're on a tour and you kind of do stuff. And some people can't die. I'm like, okay, but people loved it. And then there's like 13 of them. So you would think they'd be like, hey, you guys could write one of the 300 Dragonlance modules they made, or the book, whatever it came out.
And were you guys still?
I don't know if they had their own crew of people and they didn't want to expand beyond that, that they were comfortable with these group of writers that they had found. I suspected that.
Yeah.
In mid 80s, things, if I recall correctly, things were getting a little rough at TS.
Well, he's gone. Gary's gone by 85.
Yeah.
So 86.
I mean, they were down, right? Or they started
83 was the Purge, the first Purge.
Yeah.
And I haven't read the whole book. I'm still reading the excellent book. Where is it? Game Wizards over there in the corner. So it's long. It's nothing. It's great, but I'm not much of a reader, as you know. That's why The Hobbit for me was a long book. So.
Right. Oh, by the way, since we're on the question of books,
yes.
Favorite Lord of the Ring book of the three, of the trilogy, what is each of your, what is your favorite book of the three?
I would think the last one.
Okay, that's wrong. John, what's your favorite book of the three?
The Fellowship ended after Moria,
at the midpoint. No, it ends at they're attacked on Cirith. They're attacked on the weather.
They escape Moria and then
Moria's the Moria's.
Once they get through.
That's the correct answer.
That would be my favorite book. And my favorite
Which
movie
one is
too.
that?
The Fellowship.
Where are they? Moria?
The Fellowship, the first one.
Fellowship of the Ring.
On that note.
That one had.
I mean, if you like listening from page, the way I read it was fine. I saw the Hobbits, then I skipped a whole bunch of it, and then they were in Moria. That was okay. But
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't read the songs. Why didn't you read the songs, John?
Because they were long.
Exactly.
Because they were long.
They're boring.
And I didn't have the music. If the music was in the books, they probably would have been really good.
Now this is a litmus test. What is your view on Tom Bombadil?
I love him.
What's not to like about Tom Bombadil?
Ah, thank you. Ding, ding, ding. That is absolutely.
Dave watched the other shows of you to
correct.
Know that
and
I'm okay with that.
That is absolutely correct.
No, I wrote a parody of the movies, or started writing one when I had my website, and so every once in a while I'd put a chapter in, and there's one of Tom Bombadil, Tom Cholesterolio, and he was all depressed because no one would ever let him into a movie, and so one day he comes down and he's telling his nuts and berries, his wife, that I can't be in a movie. I don't have six-pack abs. I don't have a babe on every arm, and I can't eviscerate a person with a beef stick. And so, but then he gets a ring on the doorbell, and he goes there, and some guy's got a manila envelope, and he hands him the envelope, and he thinks, oh boy, it's a script. Finally, I'm going to be in a show or a movie. And he opens it up, and it's an eviction notice, and he's kicked out.
Your version is
Out of the
100 times better than what's in the fellowship.
James would read that.
I would read that 100 times. Reading about blah 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 blah.
He was a ring bearer. He was a ring bearer. He held the ring, and the ring went on his. He was a ring bearer, and it had no effect on him. And he had Goldberry. So anyone who gets Goldberry, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep again.
In the future, he would appear again as the ring bearer, because it's called the scrumptious. It's an onion ring, and he's starving because he got kicked out, and he wants something to eat, and they give him the ring, and he eats it, and nothing happens to him.
See, there you go. I still like it better.
Small Games, the book division.
Right.
Okay.
If they haven't been sued by Wizard of the Coast, they be sued by Tolkien's estate. Both are well known for being very gracious to IP infractions. So there you go. I love it, John. Great job. But yeah, some of your answers were not as correct. But
okay. So here, Dragon number 126.
126.
October 1987. Ken Ralston reviews Undead. This is what he says. He admitted that he was, quote, a bit surprised at how good this supplement turned out. From the title, I envision an encyclopedic treatment of the standard Undead types of most fantasy role-playing games, with a couple of standard scenarios in which undead lords hide down in deep dungeons, guarded by scads of dead guys, daring bold adventurers to come in after them. Rolston added the volcanic terrain on the floor of the caldera makes a unique and colorful campaign setting. The dead guys are nicely rendered. The discussion of undead unit oh, sorry. I should skip that part. I'll just change it. I did not like the part about undead unit tactics. That should not have been added and was a waste of time. I enjoyed, there were some swell original spells, magic items, monsters, and grand sorceress rituals that are specifically tailored to the atmosphere and gaming elements of a campaign. The adventure is fairly linear, and I like linear. Because linear, I don't think linear is necessarily a bad thing, because players will go this way and that way. And I found that when you run a linear adventure like Rising in the Dark from Dan Collerton, I don't think the players dislike it at all. If you're trying to run a game in a session,
right,
and you're not trying to run a sandbox, you want to run this module, I don't mind linear. Okay.
Get off your sandbox.
Get off my sandbox. Okay. The final set piece really won my admiration. This is a quality AD&D campaign supplement, comparable to some of TSR's better supplements. You must have liked that. You don't have to answer that. It's framed on his wall.
I have it. Right.
The setting is imaginative and fantastic. The dead guys are grim and menacing. There are plenty of neat new magic and monsters. The adventure has some nice bits. The usual two-color printing job looks smart, and the graphic design is first class. Nicholson and Nicholson and Company have done a commendable job in advancing the reputation of Mayfair's modules. Here's review number 2. It's from Lawrence Schick.
Ah, that guy.
Pretty good.
That was nice.
So yeah, that was a long, but I wanted to read it though because I think it's a fair review. So obviously you guys must.
Which one? The pretty good one?
The pretty good one. Well, it was a quote from a book. So in all fairness, so he wasn't doing a full review. So, but obviously you must have been pretty pleased with that review.
I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah. So looking back on Undead. So what are your all these years later? You probably didn't imagine that 40 years later, or close to 40 years later, you'd be sitting talking about Undead.
No, we never imagined, particularly because I think it was Rolaids. It wasn't one of the TSR groupings that it would stay in any kind of popularity or what do they call it?
Well, it's like a cult classic.
Yeah,
right.
It is a cult classic.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, we've got more attention in the 21st century than we did in the 20th century for what we did.
I think probably part of that is because of this so-called OSR movement. When I started about 5 years ago, and I decided, wow, wouldn't that be fun to maybe play D&D again? And I'm like, well, I bet I'd like to play First Edition, but I wonder if anyone out there is playing First Edition. I assumed literally I would be like, I thought I was doing something like really like unusual. Like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play First Edition AD&D. And then I hopped on the internet and I discovered Gary. And so I had no idea that I just was simply like so many other people coming back into the game. Have you found that this revival of old school gaming have people contacted you? What sort of attention has Undead gotten now?
I haven't been contacted except by you, so it's fun to sometimes look up and see that. If there's even sometimes later reviews, people just reading it now will post something. But no, we haven't really heard much. John, have you?
When our friend Dan died, I inherited a whole bunch of his games, his war games and D&D games, and I started selling them on eBay. And then I started looking up, I searched for Undead, and I saw once that Roll for Initiative had kind of reviewed Undead, so I emailed them and said it was fun to listen to and all that, and then they asked us on to do that one, and then they asked us on again for Deadly Power. So that's about all the contact I've had, other than I sold the miniature to Elise Gygax, and I sold parts of games or miniatures to Alan Grohe. But that's about all the contacts I've had with anybody.
Yep. We've had Alan on the show, and so you're going to do that. You did Monsters of Myth and Legend 2, right? So 1989, so a bit later. A supplement with 75 monsters and deities, and so that was the last one that was done. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was the first one that I did with a computer. Anything that I wrote, I used to always give scraps of paper to Lori, and she'd have to decipher them and figure out all my lines and everything. But I had a computer for that one, and again, I guess I don't have contact with them. I guess they asked Lori to do this one, and so we set about doing it. It was really hard for me, at least, because I did the Inuit and the South American, and there was no internet back then, so trying to find out anything about monsters that may not have been done. Some of them I think we had been done, but it was really difficult.
I think we probably heard the least feedback about that one.
Well,
I think it's the hardest one to find.
And so were you guys still playing? Because this is the late 80s, and at this point, in my sense, D&D is sort of not the thing anymore, right? You talked about this, where the video games were kind of taking over. D&D wasn't. I mean, not that D&D was cool, right? But it wasn't even cool for the nerds and the geeks anymore so much. I mean, that's when I got out of it. Was the late 80s. I think you did too.
Yeah. Well, because we got jobs and families and everything else, and things just. It was hard to balance that, and it just felt like that was something you did in a few years, and now you moved on, and you were able to go to bars and do stuff like that. So it that kind of took precedent.
So were you guys still playing? I mean, did you guys continue to play throughout the 80s?
We played a long time, but I don't know how long. Do you remember when?
When I can't remember. We were playing in the late 80s, maybe the early 90s, but the Nicholsons had moved to another house, and they were like 40 miles away from us now. So it was a lot harder to get together to play. You couldn't go from 7 till 4 in the morning because then you had to drive home, and it's just wasn't like driving a couple of miles.
And it gets a little harder to stay up at 3 a.m. I found as you get a little older, right? It's a little tougher. You can't just go to work, the next day. Laura, had you introduced your kids at some point to D&D? Did they become gamers?
They never became gamers. They would sometimes play with us a little bit or come in and play with the characters and do things like that. But that was something they never got into it. Maybe they were too young at the time when we started. They were probably 3 or 4. So by the time the 80s were there, they were kind of into other things.
They're probably a little traumatized because they were abandoned for all this gaming. They were up till 3 and 4 in the morning, and they're trying to wake their parents up, and they're exhausted. So I'm sure that was part.
Mommy, are you on drugs?
Right.
No, I swear, I'm a D&D player.
I want some breakfast. I just got to bed 2 hours ago, kid.
Mommy, what's this?
Order Undead.
We had to get them up, get them off to school, get to work. I don't know how we did all that.
I mean, almost like the people who play those multiplayer like EverQuest and World of Warcraft, where you hear the kids don't get fed because they played 60 hours in a row or something like that. So, not to say that happened, Laurel. I'm not saying that happened at all. That's not. I'm sure your kids are well adjusted, but perhaps they don't see with the same fondness D&D has that you have. So it's okay.
I think when they got older, they started doing more computer games.
Yeah.
So what do they think of the fact, if they do think about it at all? I have a daughter, and I know your kids don't think about their parents much at all, usually. Do you know if they have any thoughts on the fact that their mother wrote Undead? Not that there's anything wrong with writing Undead, I don't know.
Well, my son thinks it's great.
I think they think it's pretty cool, but it's not something they really think much about.
Sure. So the collaboration end? Did it just end because Mayfair didn't want any more products, or you guys just kind of moved away from this? How did it come to an end?
I'm thinking Mayfair probably was slowing down back then, and they weren't going to do anything else, because I would have kept writing forever. But
it would have been harder though without the internet, her being so far away.
Yeah, but we could have done that
at that time. Yeah, we could have managed it, but there was nothing left to do, I guess. Plus, my son was starting to get older, and it was a little harder to have time to write the things. Even though I had a computer.
In late 80s, when did second edition come out?
89.
89.
90.
So did you guys ever switch editions, or were you playing first edition AD&D the whole time?
probably. I think
when second came out, we tried to take a few things from second edition, but mainly we played first edition, but we didn't play a lot of rules.
I have a new character sheet here that was started in 92, so we were still playing back then.
Okay.
Wait, you still have your character sheet from 92? Wait, show it to us. Where is it? Is it there? It's Goldenrod! Yay! We have the Goldenrod sheet. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Well done.
Has that character ever done anything?
I have all my characters.
Has that character ever played?
Oh yeah. But not very often. This was my, let's see. This was this is my original one.
Look at that.
So that was
even artwork too.
What year did you date it? What year is that character created?
82.
You have your 1982 Goldenrod character.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
My first one.
Wow.
Here, I get all.
What?
All of these.
Will you? Oh,
Yeah, the only one I'm missing
Ooh,
is the one she
But I'm not
killed.
bitter. There's no bitterness from John.
okay. Wait,
No
we got to
anger.
go back to that because I wasn't a good interviewer. We missed. We really should have talked about that. Wait. Okay, let's talk about this incident with the fireball. So what? So who should we start with? Because there seems to be different.
The accused, or the
Yeah, who's on trial?
Right.
This is John versus Laurel.
Innocent, the innocent one.
John, huh?
I was the innocent one.
Oh, please.
I was just trying to defend our party.
Please only answer questions when asked. Objection, Your Honor. The witness is speaking without a question.
Sustained.
I'd like to start with the plaintiff. John is. So what happened, John?
I forget exactly, but we were in a hallway, you know.
Hostile witness.
And she wanted to
In a
cast a
hallway?
fireball on something.
That sounds.
Yeah.
That's straight. Look, I have a question for Laurel. Laurel, at the time I'll handle this.
I just was heard that we were fighting doubles of ourselves. I was fighting a double of myself.
Laurel, at the time that you decided to cast a fireball in the hallway, how long had you been playing D&D?
I think that's an unfair question.
Your Honor, let me answer the question.
Just answer the question.
So you cast a fireball in a hallway. Was John in front?
Well, I was fighting a mirror image of myself too. So somebody was also fighting me. And then I was trying to defend the party. And unfortunately, one small gnome, I believe, was injured.
Was he in front of you?
Fatally injured, but
Grievous.
She didn't see him.
She didn't see him.
Who was DMing?
And then John though wrote an ode to Lincoln. So that's what I was saying when you noticed his guitar. He could have had a song for you already.
Oh.
So the gnome illusionist thief that's killed. The character sheet.
No, that was the illusionist thief was a different gnome. He probably got killed too. All my characters got killed. They're in her bag of holding, decomposing right now.
No, they aren't.
That's a great adventure where there's a gnome collector just stuffs them in a bag of holding.
So you
I love that.
So you buy a bag of holding at like a garage sale, and you
open
empty it out.
Oh, decomposing gnomes just pop out of it.
Yeah, this bag smells.
You can't get that gnome punk out of the bag.
You take it to the dry cleaner.
No, it doesn't work. There's no way.
Okay, so who is the DM?
Don is the DM, her husband, and he's warning her, where do you cast this? Are you sure you want to cast it here? Are you sure you want to cast it there?
I'd like to
And she
call
said,
Don
yes,
as my
of
next
course.
witness.
Don
is he there? Bring him. I'll subpoena him.
That's right.
He can come voluntarily, or I'll
these
subpoena him.
These charges are very substantial. We're trying to determine. Well, clearly, she's admitted to casting the fireball, which resulted in the death of the gnome.
At a minimum, it's manslaughter because that's reckless.
Right. We're just deciding with this premeditated or
it might not be murder.
Right.
But that's clearly manslaughter.
Negligent homicide.
Gnome slaughter.
Gnome slaughter.
That's more negligent homicide.
Yeah, but on the bright side,
Except your police.
I started writing a book about it, never got through, finished it. But if we could finish the book, then it could be kind of interesting.
Yes.
We were playing the -10 rule at that time, and he was only at -6. But they refused
wait a
to
minute,
bind
new
his
information.
wound. Otherwise,
What?
We're like the January 6th committee.
Oh, wow, this is. So he was grievously injured, and then they refused to provide.
Is that true, Laurel? He was not dead yet, and you didn't bind his wounds?
I don't recall that at all.
Oh, he doesn't recall
To the
that.
best of my recollection.
I don't recall. Laurel has a lot of I don't recall answers.
I need the character sheet.
And besides, I take the fifth.
Wow.
That-
Only guilty people take
Only
the fifth.
that's right.
She stole the character sheet because the character sheet showed on it.
When she
negative
took it.
6.
I think it was a perfect fireball.
Here's a very important question from our listeners. There have been other questions, but this one's critical.
Now it's hopping.
Did Laurel get XP for killing the gnome? Because that will determine. Because if he got XP
and they looted the body,
and did they loot the body? Those are the two things. Because that will determine motive.
It's certainly yes. Because we don't have a motive yet,
I don't
do we?
remember.
I don't know if they got XP,
Right,
but
so-
I'm sure they looted the body.
No, we took the body back and sent him back to his family.
I bet.
In the bag of holding after being crispy. Well, at least
Here he is.
Well,
With
we
my other
definitely need
character.
to do an ode. Oh, and what was the character's name? Landon?
Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln.
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 Like Land of
Abe
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
L-A-N-K-I-N. Like
Yeah.
the song Long
Abe Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Okay. A beard.
Well, we have to do an ode now to Lincoln.
Well, that's great that you guys kept your character sheets. So most of us, we just lost that stuff. What prompted you guys to hold on? Are you pack rats, or what did you want to keep?
Hoarding problem?
I don't know. My husband has all this stuff, and he just handed these to me.
Beautiful.
So
They look we have plenty of space here. So if you don't have enough space in your house, we'd be happy to take random stuff.
If you send us PDFs of those, we will incorporate them somehow we will use them. They'll probably die horrible deaths, but we will use them somehow. Because we bought off of eBay character sheets. I bought some goldenrod ones, and we've used the character sheets in there just to run through Greyhawk. They've been going on an adventure. So we love to see old character sheets from back in the day.
So roughly early 90s, you start moving away from that. So did you keep writing, Laurel? What kind of work did you do after that? And John, what was the things you were involved with after that?
well, I have some books that it's like a trilogy.
Oh.
And it's about, but it's more about, it's not about Dungeons and Dragons, it's about witches.
We like witches.
And it's the ideas about magic. If you could see, it's spelled with a K. So magic, when you spell it normally with a C, is more make-believe or sleight of hand. The magic with a K is the ability to change reality through spells and willpower. And there's some ways that of witchcraft in here, casting a circle, that are true. Then in here that will, but it's just a fun adventure story.
Wonderful. And you did a trilogy of them, and how long, when were those written? What time period is that?
Actually, I dreamt the story, and so it took a couple years to write all of them. But it's basically a story about kids that find out their neighbor is a witch, and she tries to teach them, but she gets kidnapped and they have to go rescue her. And it was originally written for kids, but what I found in sales has really gone to more people in their 30s or 40s that have been reading it.
I think my neighbor's kids think my wife's a witch, but that's a different story. Did I say that loud?
I think so too. So what are you? Wait, well, I don't know what that means. What does that mean, a witch? I didn't want to insult her. I feel like now I just insulted her. I said I think she's. I think.
That's okay.
Okay.
She doesn't watch this. You're fine.
Okay. So no, that's right. So Laura, had you read fantasy? So are you a fan of the genre?
Yes, I love everything, and I studied a lot of different religions too, including witchcraft and Buddhism and all kinds of different things. But of course, the idea of spells fits right into Dungeons and Dragons, so that was always interesting to me too.
Do you like the Harry Potter books?
I do like Harry Potter.
Yeah, I like Harry Potter too. I like it quite well.
It's not as bad as Tom Bombadil. It's okay. It's
All
good. So, and it's available now, Laurel, that people can buy them. If you do, send me the link,
Yeah,
and we'll put them in the
go
show notes.
on. It's available through on Amazon, but you can go on my website, which is lanicholson.com, and you can get it through Amazon. It has a whole discussion of what the books are about.
And you get like 38 cents from it if Amazon sells it for you, right? So something like that.
Just about.
Okay. So, well, after we're done, if you can send me an email with your links, we'll put them in the show notes here. We'd be happy to do that. That would be, because people always ask for the links. It's just put in. And so, John, after you stopped playing games, obviously you had a son. What was your post D&D career look like?
As far as writing, it would be, I wrote, when I had the website for selling miniatures, I started writing that parody of
Especially
Lord
the first
of the
one.
Rings.
That sounds great.
Didn't finish that. I don't have the slave driver pushing me to do anything. So, and let's see, I wrote a short module for a contest at Roll for Initiative. That's the only thing I've completed. And then there's another module I've written, but it needs one final encounter, and I haven't gotten around to doing that.
We have prolific writers. They're just looking for a place to work. So we just need to figure out how to get a product from them that's not tied to Mayfair or TSR, so we don't get sued, and put it in our new. We need some modules. We need some adventures for the Grog Empire.
Well, we have. Well, they said they have an adventure.
Right.
It's like we're talking like they're not here.
Right.
They have.
Don't pay no attention. We're just talking to ourselves right now.
Right. They have a second. They have an adventure written, if I recall correctly, for Undead, which is ready to go.
Right.
And and then they'll write the. They're going to do the Duchy of Death.
Right. The Duchy of Death. They tacitly approved that.
They said yes.
It's a campaign sub-campaign setting and a series of 6 modules. Right. That's right.
Right. So we already got that.
What we'll do is we'll send you a copy of the Grog Empire map and this on PDF so you can look it over. And if you are inclined, we'll talk to Tim Kask, our Tim Kask, aka Rob Ritchie, who's the publisher, and we'd be happy to look at publishing an adventure. That would be great for us.
And if you have,
I would love to do that. What do you think, John?
Sure. Do you guys do movies or?
We've done
like
movies, short films. They've been widely regarded by the dozen or so people who reviewed our short films as successful.
Are you talking about where we put on costumes and cosplay, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
We have the movie rights to Undead. And Laurel, when we were signing the contract, she crossed out certain things on it, and we initialed it as saying we retain the rights to movies and books based on Undead. So if anybody has the contract, we actually own that.
So how does that work, Dan? There was a contract that was signed 40-something years ago where they claimed that they struck out some of the language that's in there.
Sure.
Would you think Wizards of the Coast, in their non-caring of their IP, would they go after them with this? Would this be enough? Or how strong a case do you think they have?
In my opinion, if Wizards of the Coast was inclined to actually file a lawsuit over somebody making a movie based upon Roy's Undead, that they basically burn cash. They might as well shut down their company now because those people are burning money. It's a huge waste. If I was their lawyer, I'd be like, who cares? I mean, you don't want dilution and all that business. But if they claim they crossed it out, you just say, yeah, okay, we're not going to challenge that. So you.
I remember that, John.
Huh?
I remember crossing it out.
Yeah, so,
I think that's why they didn't put my name on it.
She seems believable.
Right, they both seem believable.
I mean, she didn't tell the truth about. She claimed she wasn't bitter with TSR, but that's
right.
Oh, that's gonna be cross-examination. Isn't it true you're bitter because they never?
And that she's murdered gnomes and then looted the body.
And then you lie about. Oh, I didn't mean to kill the gnome.
Well, in all seriousness, if that is something you're remotely interested in, we do an annual module for GrogCon that we subsidize. Again, it's not we do this out of the kindness of our hearts. So, but if that's something you would want to build for us, we could do that for next year. We would love to have you write one of our adventures for that.
And in all seriousness, if you're not interested,
that's fine too.
That's fine too. So, no pressure. We're not trying to do a hard sell on you.
Yeah.
No, I would love
this
to.
module for Monsters of Myth and Legend. That's like 64 pages, typewritten pages that they didn't put in Monsters of Myth.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that offline. Yeah, we already have our adventure. So Carlos Lysing, a good friend of ours who does Castle Entertainment, he has written the adventure for this year. And hell, we would sponsor 2 adventures next year. I don't care.
Sure, and this crossing out business. So we know. I don't know if you know Bill Fawcett. We know Bill Fawcett, and I've had him on the show, who was with Mayfair, and so maybe Bill could be a witness and be like, that's right, because what does he care?
Well, so I'd love to do a movie of Undead. So it sounds to me we have to run Undead.
Oh, the movie. Oh, wait, we get to pick a lich lord.
Yeah.
Oh well, we already did yours.
No, I'm not the short redhead guy.
What are you talking about?
I'm not redhead.
It screams you. Oh, everyone wants to be Night Bay. Not everyone can be Night Bay.
You have to roll randomly for it.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm Gary.
We'll get back. You guys have been gracious with your time. We're already at 90 minutes. So you usually I forgot to mention this yesterday. We normally ask our guests to roll a D10 to see how well the show went. 1 being you should never come on again. I'm sorry to waste your time. 10, it was amazing. So do you have a D10 available? And if not, there's another way to do this.
I'll have to have someone bring one.
Wait, was that the DM? Wait,
right, DM,
wait, hold on.
I
saw the DM. No, I saw her husband. The DM is there. I think I saw a shadow.
I think he went to see if we have one in the drawer.
Oh, John's got.
He doesn't wanna chime in on the witness. He's there.
You'll see this bodied hand.
You can also use a book. Oh, he's got a D10.
What was it, John? I'm sorry.
It's a 4.
4. Okay, we got to average it.
A little bit of clapping.
Charisma, so it's an 8.
Oh, it's an 8.
Oh, because 4 plus 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Not bad. All right.
We'll wait for Laurel's roll.
You know what I say about that? Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, like Lauren Schick.
I don't know. You should have told me to bring it. I don't know if he can find one.
That's fine. We're sorry. We didn't.
No, it's only 1 roll. So the die has been cast.
The die has been cast. So be reported. What? I probably is pulling boxes down and.
Oh, here it comes.
Here he comes.
Here it comes.
Nothing.
There it is. No, you have to roll.
Did Laurel mean to kill the gnome?
No, we found characters, but not the die.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Well,
wait, what's that?
Those are miniatures.
Oh.
Again, don't give out your addresses. Some of our folks, they would not harm you, but they would certainly harass you to sell sell stuff. We've got some and we also have a book reunification channel where we're trying to unify people's whose books they inadvertently sold and now they want them back. So we're trying to get that back. But again, please send me your information so I can put it on the website. It was a real pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you for your time today. And again, if that's something you're interested in collaborating with us, we would love to have. Because again, we love all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to pick up. And if there's can this be purchased except only in eBay form? Is there a PDF version that people can buy, or that's not in the cards?
I don't have one.
You can get it on eBay and Amazon, and I don't know if Scribe charges now. You used to be able to go to Scribed and look at.
I was trying to get you some cash there, John. I'm always about plug-in.
No, we wouldn't get any cash from it.
Okay, well then, yeah, forget it then. Well, I think we should run that and put that somewhere into the milieu. Obviously, it's not part of the world of GROGTALK, but we could figure out something. At least run a couple of the sessions because I know it's more of a thing. I'm sorry, John.
How do I get a title?
Oh, wow.
You would like a title? Okay. Yeah. Funny you should mention that. We can give you a title.
Because they don't have to be guests, do not have to become patrons.
That's right.
Usually, you have to become patron, but you guys are your guests, your AD&D royalty.
That's
so,
right.
Absolutely. So let's do it. All right.
That's right. We're gonna give out titles as we speak to both of you.
So what we do is, for what people who are new to the show don't know, and Laura, you may not know this. So our patrons get titles, and the titles come from the Best of Dragon magazine. It was originally published in November 1978. It was Brian Bloom. Yep, no clapping. Okay, Brian Bloom. Not a lot of Brian Bloom fans out there. It's what do you call a 25th level wizard, and it was for naming your wizard. And you could roll. You would randomly roll, and you would get a title. And so John has asked for a title,
right?
And we're more than happy to help out. So, John has dice.
Oh yeah. Well,
Right?
does he have a D30?
Nice.
Okay. Well, start with. So you're gonna have to. It's gonna be complicated. Give us roll a D10 and a D6 and tell us what you got on the 10 and what you got on the 6.
Okay. $44.
We got a 4 on the 6 and 4
and 4 on the 6.
4 on the 6 and 4 on the 10. So that is 22 is 11.
Carry the 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's the captain general.
He's the captain general. Okay.
Okay. So he's again, right?
Well, he's gonna
I have to write this down.
yeah. Do this now. This time, roll a D6 and D10. Tell us what you got.
A D10 and a D6 again?
Please.
8 and a 1.
8 and a 1. Okay, so the 8th one.
Munificent.
Munificent. Ooh, I like that.
The captain general.
His munificent.
His most munificent.
His most munificent.
Okay. Again, right? D10,
Yep.
D6.
Yep. Same thing. Roll them again.
7 and a 2.
7 again. Number 7.
Greatness.
Greatness. Wow, your title is amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Now same thing. D10 and D6.
10 and 6.
Okay, so that's the last one.
Prince.
Prince. Greatness, Prince. All right, now a D10 and D6.
2 on the 10 and 1 on the 6.
2 on the 10 and 1 on the 6. So it's number 2.
Distinguished.
Yep.
And now wait, 6 and a 10 again,
Yeah,
right?
6 and a 10. Yep.
Last one. Almost there.
9, 3.
9 and 3. So that's 19. It's 19.
19. So how many are there?
There's 30.
Enslaver of.
Oh, okay. Okay. So his
munificent enslaver.
His most munificent
enslaver.
And so, what town are you claiming? Where do you live?
I'll claim Ashley.
Where's that?
That's in Verdice, in Undead.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wonderful. Hold on.
Okay.
Greatness, Prince.
We were expecting like Illinois.
It could be Illinois too.
Areas of New York.
What was what was this one?
Oh, this was.
I remember this one was Enslaver.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to catch up with you.
Sorry.
No, Prince what was the...
I don't know. Was he distinguished? No.
No, it was... Which one was it? Invincible?
It's Captain something...
Yeah, I have that. General, his most munificent.
His most munificent something greatness, Prince.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, Prince. Okay, cool.
We got Prince. We don't have this one.
The
Enslaver.
Yeah. Okay. We got it.
You want to roll again?
No, we're not rolling again.
Okay.
Enslaver of, and what's the name of it? How do you spell it?
ASHLAEDEN.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to give that out. But Laurel, you ready for your title?
If you want one.
Okay, John, you'll have to roll for me.
So, are you want to roll for this? Because we have a D30.
We can roll for you.
We can roll for it because we have a D30.
What's a D30? Is that from the 80s?
No.
No.
Oh, he's calling me out.
I gotcha.
I'm ashamed.
Gotcha.
He didn't catch me. He's good. No, it's not.
Well done, sir.
But it's so useful. Okay. So we're starting. I'm dividing by 2. All right. 70. So what is that?
8.5, 9.
Captain.
Another captain?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, they're both captain generals. Well, that kind of makes
No,
sense.
she's just captain. He's the captain general.
I gotcha.
She's just the captain.
Very nice.
Okay. All right. Now it's
you already got recommendation. You should be the gnome immolator, but that's okay.
30.
Yeah.
Chivalrous.
Chivalrous.
Okay. 27, 30, 29, 20. Worship.
Warship or worship?
Worship.
Yeah, warship. Worship. Yeah.
Worship.
10, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Baroness.
Baroness.
Oh, I got to do D60. Oh, 30, 29, 28. Triumphant.
Triumphant. Her, the triumphant.
And, oh, that was a cocked. 24, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. It's another scourge.
Oh, a scourge.
The scourge of...
What town are you claiming, Laurel, for the Grog Empire?
I'll say Estes. E-S-T-E-S.
E-S-T-E-S. Estes, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And you better read. You better read it all. It's too far for me to say.
Okay. So, by the power invested in us by us, the Grog Empires, we now bestow the following titles to both of you. We now claim forevermore you shall be known throughout the Grog Empire as, I'll start with Laurel first. Laurel, the captain, chivalrous, warship baroness, the triumphant scourge of Estes. And John, you shall now be forever known as the captain general, his most munificent greatness, prince and slaver of Ashadin. Congratulations, both of you. Well done. May your reign be long and proud.
And deadly.
And deadly. And enslaving, apparently.
So you immediately want to start thinking about what your shortened names will be, because I'm definitely seeing the possibility for Laurel, the Triumphant Scourger. Is it a Triumphant Scourge? Sounds nice. What do you think? And the Prince Enslaver is not bad.
Definitely rolls off the tongue.
Or the Munificent Enslaver. So it's up to you.
Yeah. I'm not here to give you your nickname.
Correct. That's right.
And we will work on our heraldry, which will we have a heraldry page, and we will put your heraldries up there so you can have that as well.
And don't you think they should have, should they jointly have the Duchy of Death?
If they do the Duchy of Death, then they get to jointly own it. That's right.
Don't you? Would you like to jointly own? Would you like to jointly control? Well, you're like the Lich Lord Council. Would you like to control the Duchy of Death, which is untaken?
Of course.
Of course. All done.
Itself. It's done.
This is why we do this.
Our
stuff.
plan worked.
Our plan of giving titles out and heirs in our empire have worked once again. Well, very good. Thank you for being good sports, and I will reply with your official title. It's out in the chat, so people are seeing it. And once we publish your little crest, because we make crests for all our folks. That's what it's hard to tell here, but you can kind of see it there. They have little crests, so you'll have a crest.
I assume there'll be like a skull on it or something.
Well, it'll be some version of a skull. I may just, I don't know.
Oh boy!
Should I just steal?
Don't say that on the air.
I'm not steal.
What you shouldn't do is steal anything from this.
Yeah, if you have a picture that you would like on your shield, I'd be happy to put that on there for you. Since you are the Duchy of Death, that would be amazing. So, well, with that, thanks again so much, Laurel, John. You've been great sports. We really appreciate your time, and we've gone a little bit over, but thank you for today, and we'll hope you keep in touch. If you'd like to collaborate on something with us, please send us a note. We would be happy to do that. We typically start early next year on the coming up with an adventure, and we can talk more about that.
Okay, that sounds great, and thank you so much for contacting us.
Excellent. So,
thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
We'll actually, for Grog Talk, I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
And you're Laurel, and you're John. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you next time on Grog Talk. Take care.
Grog Talk was taped in front of a live studio audience.
We don't got no dragon born in Hamlet. A dwarven magic use you won't see. Clerics must have deities to worship. As we like delving dungeons and loot. Every orc is evil through and through, and we don't stay our hands and spare their children like the 5e hippies in the game stores do. And I'm proud to be a first edition Grognon. living by the dice and Gare's decrees. We fear only level drain and poison, and DM smiling wide behind the screen. We don't play heroes with long backstories. We fight for our lives to get XP, and there's nothing better than tell the glory of that one time we survived to level 3. And I'm proud to be a first edition GROGTALK, living by the dice and Gare's decrees. We fear only level drain and poison, and DM smiling wide behind the screen, and DM smiling wide behind the screen. We love first edition